Chapter 468. Buzz. The moment the mini vermilion bird entered Yi Qinfeng's mind, Yi Qinfeng felt a splitting headache. His soul was being torn apart, and large amounts of blood flowed out from his 7 orifices. God-eater brain, suppress. Yi Qinfeng endured the pain of his soul being burned and controlled the brain to suppress the vermilion bird, extinguishing the purple flames in his soul. Thump, thump, thump. The rapidly squirming brain appeared in Yi Qinfeng's mind and formed 3 black vortexes that frantically devoured the purple flames released by the vermilion bird, protecting Yi Qinfeng's soul. In an instant, the purple flames released by the vermilion bird were devoured by the brain. The restless vermilion bird was also suppressed by the brain. In the next moment, the brain was like a giant mouth that directly devoured the vermilion bird that invaded Yi Qinfeng's mind and resolved the crisis. Vermilion bird cauldron, recognize me as its master. After the brain devoured the vermilion bird, Yi Qinfeng continuously poured his essence blood into the vermilion bird cauldron in an attempt to forcefully make it recognize him as its master. Screech! Sensing Yi Qinfeng's attempt to forcefully make the vermilion bird cauldron recognize him as its master, the vermilion bird shadow that was fighting with Jian Qin was enraged. It forcefully broke through the barrier and flew towards Yi Qinfeng at an extremely fast speed, wanting to kill him. At the critical moment, the sword puppet released the vermilion bird cauldron and stood in front of Yi Qinfeng. It used its indestructible body to block the fatal attack of the vermilion bird shadow. Although the fatal attack was blocked, the vermilion bird shadow did not give up. Its huge body turned into streaks of fire as it shuttled through the air, attacking Yi Qinfeng from various angles. The vermilion bird shadow's attack speed was extremely fast, but the sword puppet's reaction was even faster. It constantly used its body to block the attacks. Seal of the White Snake, suppress. At this moment, Jian Qin poured a large amount of soul power into the seal of the White Snake, causing it to constantly expand and suppress the vermilion bird shadow. The moment the red sparrow's shadow was attacked by the mark of the White Snake, the Chaos Divine Beast released a terrifying sound wave at an extremely fast speed. It bombarded the shadow's body and sent it flying. Damn it! Why is this vermilion bird cauldron like a bottomless pit? It's absorbed so much of my essence blood, but it still won't recognize me as its master. Under the protection of Jian Qin and the others, Yi Qinfeng was not attacked by the vermilion bird shadow. However, he was still unable to forcefully bind the vermilion bird cauldron despite exhausting a large amount of essence blood. Boss, don't waste your essence blood to recognize that cauldron. If I'm not wrong, this vermilion bird soul should be the vermilion bird cauldron's artifact spirit. If you want to recognize the vermilion bird cauldron as its master, you must first subdue this vermilion bird soul. The divine beast of chaos shouted at Yi Qinfeng while he was trying to figure out a way to tame the Suzaku cauldron. Artifact spirit. Yi Qinfeng raised his eyebrows and said in surprise, "Could this vermilion bird cauldron surpasses a heavenly treasure?" Thinking of this, Yi Qinfeng's eyes lit up. If he could subdue this vermilion bird cauldron and borrow its power, he might have a chance to fight Mo Fengyan. Swish! Yi Qinfeng's body flashed slightly, leaving behind an afterimage as he appeared beside the vermilion bird soul. The ancient extreme heavenly water instantly gushed out from his body and forcefully froze the vermilion bird soul. The vermilion bird was born of fire, so it hated the cold chi of the world the most. However, the ancient extreme heavenly water was the strongest heavenly water in the world. After being attacked by the ancient extreme heavenly water, the vermilion bird soul's strength was immediately affected. White serpent seal, ancient rune attack. Just as the vermilion bird soul was trying its best to resist the ancient extreme heavenly water's attack, the white serpent seal smashed down. The terrifying ancient runes gathered into an ancient character that ruthlessly imprinted itself on the vermilion bird soul's body, forcefully shattering its powerful body. Screech! The vermilion bird's soul let out a painful wail as its body was shattered by the white serpent seal. Its huge body quickly shrank as it entered the vermilion bird cauldron before Yi Chen Fong and the others could stop it. It then controlled the vermilion bird cauldron to escape to the core of the fire. However, Yi Chen Fong was already prepared. He had ordered the sword puppet to guard the core of the fire and used its indestructible body to block the vermilion bird cauldron, not giving it a chance to escape into the core of the fire. The moment the sword puppet forcefully blocked the vermilion bird cauldron, Yi Chen Fong decisively merged with a spiritual beast, the two-headed blood dragon king. He ignited his dragon bloodline and raised his strength to the peak as he attacked the vermilion bird cauldron with his ruler armament. 8 killing Azura art, 5 killing halos. In order to suppress the vermilion bird cauldron and subdue the vermilion bird soul, Yi Chen Fong condensed 5 killing halos as he attacked the vermilion bird cauldron. He also activated his strongest physical strength. The terrifying sword light directly tore through the air and continuously struck the vermilion bird cauldron, causing it to tremble. While Yi Chen Fong attacked the vermilion bird cauldron with all his strength, Jian Qin and the Chaos Divine Beast also unleashed powerful attacks, bombarding the vermilion bird cauldron and forcefully restricting its movements. Screech! Under the tide-like attacks launched by Yi Chen Fong and the others, the vermilion bird soul, which had been unable to escape into the core of the fire, was furious. It used all its strength to control the vermilion bird cauldron to attack Yi Chen Fong and the others. However, under the protection of the white snake seal, the fierce attacks of the vermilion bird cauldron could not pose a threat to Yi Chen Fong and the others. Time was also rapidly passing in the fierce stalemate. In order to subdue the vermilion bird cauldron, Yi Chen Fong and Jian Qin gritted their teeth and bitterly persevered. The sword puppet, which had endured dozens of fierce attacks from the vermilion bird cauldron, had also consumed more than half of its energy. The vermilion bird soul, the artifact spirit of the vermilion bird cauldron, had also consumed a lot of energy. The attacks of the vermilion bird cauldron were getting weaker and weaker, gradually suppressed by the fierce attacks of Yi Chen Fong and the others. White snake seal, suppress! Seizing the moment when the vermilion bird cauldron was suppressed by the fierce attacks of the others, Jian Qin spat out 3 mouthfuls of blood essence at the cost of the price and fused them into the white snake seal. He activated the strongest power of the white snake seal and heavily suppressed the vermilion bird cauldron, suppressing it in the scorching ground. Primordial chaos roar! The primordial chaos beast rapidly approached the vermilion bird cauldron that was wreathed in flames. It was so close that it let out a world-shaking roar and viciously slammed into the vermilion bird cauldron, causing the cauldron to violently tremble and directly injuring the vermilion bird soul. Boss, while the vermilion bird soul is weak, try dripping your blood on the vermilion bird cauldron and see if you have a chance of subduing it. When the vermilion bird soul was injured by the primordial chaos beast's roar, primordial chaos immediately shouted at Yi Chen Fong. Okay. Yi Chen Fong quickly approached the vermilion bird cauldron. He bit his finger and pressed it against the vermilion bird cauldron once more. He frantically poured his blood essence into the vermilion bird cauldron in an attempt to make it recognize him as its master. As a large amount of blood essence entered the vermilion bird cauldron, the weakened vermilion bird soul flew out of the cauldron once more and launched a sure-kill attack at Yi Chen Fong. Primordial Divine would suppress. This time, Yi Chen Fong was prepared. The moment the vermilion bird soul flew out, he summoned the primordial divine wood and controlled it to block the vermilion bird soul's attack. He condensed a large number of roots and forcefully suppressed the vermilion bird soul. Under the binding of the jade-green roots, the severely injured vermilion bird soul was firmly bound and could not move. At this moment, Yi Chen Fong forcefully poured his blood essence into the vermilion bird's soul through the primordial divine wood. Slowly, the vermilion bird soul's resistance became weaker and weaker. Finally, it gave in under the suppression of the primordial divine wood and slowly fused with Yi Qinfeng's blood essence. It's done! Feeling that he and the vermilion bird soul were connected, Yi Qinfeng, who had lost a lot of blood and was pale, revealed a faint smile. After much effort, and with the help of everyone, he had finally subdued the vermilion bird soul and made it recognize him as its master, the vermilion bird cauldron, which was suspected to have surpassed a heavenly treasure. Mobile reading website. Book address. To facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blogs, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 469. Qingfeng, what is the grade of this vermilion bird cauldron? Jian Qin arrived beside Yi Qinfeng. He was extremely curious about the vermilion bird cauldron that was far more powerful than the seal of the white serpent. This vermilion bird cauldron has given birth to an artifact spirit. It should be a Tao treasure, right? Yi Qinfeng had only dripped his blood on the vermilion bird cauldron and had not completely refined it, so he was unable to accurately sense the true grade of the vermilion bird cauldron. Taoist treasure. The chaos divine beast curled his lips and said, "If this Suzaku cauldron is really a Taoist treasure, we will all die here today, and there is no chance of survival." What, is this vermilion bird cauldron not a Tao treasure? Asked Yi Qinfeng with a slight frown. That's right. A true Tao treasure is extremely terrifying. Ordinary emperors can be easily crushed to death by it. The divine beast of chaos nodded and said, "This vermilion bird cauldron can only be considered as a pseudo-Tao treasure at best. However, its power is far beyond that of a heavenly treasure. However, it has long since formed an artifact spirit. Its potential surpasses that of ordinary Tao treasures. In the future, not only will it have the chance to evolve into a Tao treasure, it will also have the chance to evolve into a sacred artifact." Really? Yi Qinfeng's eyes lit up as he asked the divine beast of chaos. Sacred artifacts were existences that surpassed Tao artifacts. Yi Qinfeng did not know if there were any sacred artifacts in the fighting spirit continent, but sacred artifacts were top-notch treasures even in the heaven domain and were in the hands of some big shots. You should know that ordinary Tao treasures don't have an artifact spirit. However, the vermilion bird cauldron has already produced an artifact spirit at the pseudo-Tao treasure stage. This is enough to prove that its potential surpasses that of ordinary Tao treasures, said the chaos divine beast. It seems like this misty immortal realm is my blessed land. With this vermilion bird cauldron, I should have a chance to fight against emperor-level powerhouses. Yi Qinfeng muttered to himself as he summoned the vermilion bird cauldron into his hand. Boss, it's not that I want to discourage you, but with your current strength, you can't use the full power of the vermilion bird cauldron. Also, the strength of an emperor-level warrior is not something you can imagine. Once he changes into his battle form, even with the help of the vermilion bird cauldron, you can only have a chance to survive. If you want to defeat an emperor-level warrior, you are still too far away. What's more, emperors should also have heavenly treasures. However, with the vermilion bird cauldron and our help, you definitely have the ability to kill a half-step emperor. You also have a slight chance of obtaining the great fortune here. By the way, boss, try opening the vermilion bird cauldron. See if there are any medicinal pills inside, said the chaos god beast. All right. Yi Qinfeng nodded. He communicated with the vermilion bird cauldron and forcefully changed the array patterns in the cauldron. He opened the fiery red lid with a small vermilion bird embedded in it. Immediately, a refreshing medicinal fragrance filled the cauldron. Yi Qinfeng and Jian Qin only took a small whiff of it, but they felt refreshed and refreshed. This is a Tao pill. Yi Qinfeng's eyes lit up when he saw the two Longan-sized, fiery red elixirs with an ancient pattern on the surface of the elixir in the vermilion bird cauldron. This vermilion bird cauldron is only a pseudo-Tao treasure. It can't nurture a Tao pill that contains the concept of the ways. If I'm not mistaken, this pill should be a half-step Tao pill, continued the Chaos God Beast. What? Only Tao treasures can nurture Tao pills? Asked Yi Qinfeng. Of course. Tao pills contain the concept of the ways. How can they be nurtured by ordinary treasures? And even if it's a half-step Tao pill, there probably aren't more than 10 people in your world who can refine it, said the Chaos God Beast. Brother Jian Qin, help me subdue the vermilion bird cauldron. We'll each refine one of these half-step Tao pills. Once we refine them, I'll take you into the ethereal immortal realm through a shortcut. After learning the value of a half-step Tao pill, Yi Qinfeng generously gave one to Jianqin. Thank you. Jianqin knew the value of a half-step Tao pill. It could be said that a single half-step Tao pill was even more precious than a high-grade heaven artifact. Yet Yi Qinfeng had given one to him without even thinking about it. He was extremely touched. He completely acknowledged Yi Qinfeng as a brother. Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin found 2 relatively stable spots in the scorching space. They consumed the unknown half-step Tao pill and began to refine it to increase their strength. Yes, the Tao intent of fire. When Yi Qinfeng refined the half-step Tao pill, he sensed a Tao mark of fire within it. He was surprised. As he absorbed the medicinal energy, he controlled the God-Eater brain to deduce the Tao mark of fire, just as Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin were refining the half-step ways core in the hidden space of magma. The experts of the various organizations passed through the forest with Mo Fengyin at the lead. They saw a screen of light that shone with a faint white light. It seemed to be far away. What powerful formation runes! The person who laid down this barrier is not simple. I have never heard of such a method. Yeah, the formation runes in this barrier are too profound. They probably came from the hands of a heaven domain expert. The 2 formation grandmasters' eyes shone with a burning light. They were very interested in the barrier of light. They couldn't wait to study it and try to comprehend the heaven domain's formation inheritance. Grandmasters, I wonder if you can break this barrier with your attainments and formations. The 2 of them were directly related to whether or not Mo Fengyin could obtain the misty immortal realm's inheritance. So Mo Fengyin was very polite to them. Sect Master Mo, don't worry. Since we're here, we'll do our best to help you break the barrier. With that, the 2 formation grandmasters formed complex runes and fused them into the barrier of light. They tried to understand the structure of the formation runes. Around a day later, the seemingly impregnable barrier of light suddenly cracked. Cracks quickly spread in all directions. So fast, the 2 formation grandmasters broke the barrier of light so quickly. Mo Fengyin and the others, who were recuperating from their injuries and waiting for Zhang Xian, were taken aback when they saw that the light barrier was about to shatter at any moment. If the barrier of light was really created by a heaven domain expert, it shouldn't be broken so easily. Grandmasters, what's going on? Could it be that the barrier was set up by those people from the Misty Mountain? Mo Fengyin immediately asked when he saw the 2 formation grandmasters stop breaking the barrier. No, from the complicated formation runes in the barrier of light, it definitely came from the heaven domain. It's just that it has existed for too long and the formation runes are very weak. That's why it was so easy for us to break it. One of the formation grandmasters, Hu Fenghai, said slowly. There was a trace of regret in his voice. It was a pity that they couldn't comprehend the heaven domain's formation, runes inheritance. Everyone back off. The power of this barrier is no small matter. Back off a little. Once the barrier is broken, there might be an explosion. The other formation grandmaster, Fu Manshan, said. After Mo Fengyin and the others backed off, the 2 formation grandmasters sped up. When they fused thousands of formation runes into the barrier of light, More and more cracks appeared on the barrier, and a powerful, destructive force came out. Dodge! When the destructive force appeared, the two formation grandmasters decisively dodged. Boom! 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 Waves of destructive force echoed in the area, causing the entire void to become chaotic. The terrifying energy swept out and destroyed everything. When the destructive storm gradually dissipated, Mo Fengyun and the others saw a strange black hill imprinted in front of them. The black hill wasn't tall, but it looked like a pillar that supported the sky in front of them. It gave them a great shock and deterrence, as though it contained a terrifying energy. Let's go! Looking at the black hill in the distance, Mo Fengyun and the others' eyes lit up. They quickly flew over. Mobile reading website. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click Save at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 470. Phew! Peak Rank 1 Defiant Beast King. After a day or so of refining, Yi Qinfeng had successfully refined the half-step Tao core. His soul energy had more than doubled, reaching the peak of rank 1 Defiant Beast King realm. While he was refining the half-step Tao core, the God-Eater brain had successfully deduced the fire Tao pattern within the half-step Tao core, giving him another method and foundation. More importantly, as he grasped more and more Tao intents, it would be of great help to his future cultivation. After the Battle Beast Emperor realm was the Heaven Domain Tao realm, which was a competition of Tao comprehension. Yi Qinfeng had grasped the foundation of all Taos, the Heavenly Tao, the Sword Tao, the Thunder Tao, the Life Tao, the Illusion Tao, and the Fire Tao. His starting point was far higher than ordinary people. As for Jian Qin, he had refined the half-step Tao core, but had not broken through. He had only reached the peak of rank 4 Defiant Beast King realm. Relying on his powerful perception, he had also comprehended the fire Tao pattern within the half-step Tao core. If it was an ordinary absolute Beast King, they would have a high chance of breaking through 2 realms after consuming the half-step Tao core. However, Yi Qinfeng and Jian Qin had only reached the peak of rank 1 Defiant Beast King realm. It was enough to show that their cultivation foundation was extremely solid and profound, far surpassing ordinary absolute Beast Kings. Let's go. We will go to the outer teleportation formation and directly enter the misty, immortal realm. With their strength increasing, Yi Qinfeng and Jian Qin did not waste any more time and quickly left the lava world. Following the map in their minds, they flew towards the teleportation formation hidden in the outer regions of the misty, immortal realm. About 8 hours later, Yi Qinfeng and Jian Qin had killed more than a dozen powerful heavenly beasts in the forest. They flew to a crescent-shaped pool that was emitting traces of cold air. The teleportation formation that I am talking about is right under this pond. However, according to Senior Piao, the teleportation formation was guarded by a level 6 heavenly beast, the purple scaled king snake. After so many years have passed, I wonder if that purple scaled king snake has evolved to a level 7 heavenly beast. Yi Qinfeng pointed at the waning moon wintry pond and said, "Let's go." After saying that, Yi Qinfeng and Jian Qin broke through the chilling pool and quickly flew towards the bottom. So cold! When Yi Qinfeng and Qin Wentian reached the bottom of the cold pond, their bodies were covered with a thin layer of ice. A large amount of cold air seeped into their bodies through their pores. Space-devouring bug, seal devouring. Yi Qinfeng activated the soul-devouring spell and dispelled the cold qi that invaded his body. He summoned the pitch-black space swallower and ordered it to devour the restriction space hidden at the bottom of the pool. Soon, the space swallower bug bit open a big hole in the hard space restriction spell. Yi Qinfeng and the space swallower did not hesitate and quickly went in, entering the hidden space at the bottom of the cold pool. Purple-scaled king snake. When they landed in the hidden space, Yi Qinfeng and Qin Lai immediately saw the purple-scaled king snake, which had coiled its enormous body together. It was the size of a small mountain and had fallen into hibernation. This aura, a level 8 heavenly beast. This purple-scaled king snake has actually evolved to a level 8 heavenly beast. Feeling the terrifying aura of the purple-scaled king snake far beyond their imagination, Yi Qinfeng and Jian Chen's expression changed. They decisively held their breaths and concealed their aura, not daring to disturb its slumber to avoid danger. Qingfeng, this purple-scaled king snake, is a level 8 heavenly beast, comparable to a level 3 combat beast emperor. It is not something that you and I can fight against. Let's retreat. Jian Chen looked at the purple-scaled king snake with a serious expression and transmitted his voice to Yi Qinfeng. No, we cannot miss the shortcut to enter the ethereal immortal realm. Otherwise, with how much time we have left behind, we might miss the opportunity to fight for the great opportunity. Yi Qinfeng looked at the terrifying purple-scaled king snake and thought of using the soul-devouring brain to invade its brain and control its consciousness. If the soul-devouring brain could control the level 8 heavenly beast purple-scaled king snake, then he would not have to fear the peak level 1 combat beast emperor Mo Fengyan. However, after thinking for a long time, Yi Qinfeng reluctantly gave up on the idea. The purple-scaled king snake in front of them was too terrifying. It had the power to instantly kill them. If the soul-devouring brain failed, then he and Jian Chen would most likely die here. Sword puppet. Now we can only rely on the sword puppet to lure this purple-scaled king snake away. After thinking for a while, Yi Qinfeng finally decided on a plan. With a thought, he summoned the sword puppet. Brother Yi Qinfeng, let's go out first. Once the sword puppet lures the purple-scaled king snake away, we will immediately enter this place and activate the teleportation formation to leave. Okay. Jian Chen was also very interested in the great opportunity in the ethereal immortal realm and decided to take the risk. The space swallower bug's devouring ability was silent. When it once again devoured a large hole in the spatial barrier, Yi Qinfeng and Jian Chen both sped up and quickly flew out, hiding at the bottom of the cold lake. Sword puppet attack. After hiding, Yi Qinfeng immediately gave the sword puppet an order. Receiving the order, the sword puppet immediately launched a fierce attack at the purple-scaled king snake, waking it up from its slumber. Hiss, hiss, the purple-scaled king snake was awakened by the sword puppet and immediately became enraged. Its bell-like eyes shot out a dense red light as it opened its bloody mouth and let out an ear-piercing hiss. The rolling sound waves and dark, green, poisonous gas bombarded the sword puppet's body, instantly draining a large amount of its energy. Enduring the purple-scaled king snake's furious hiss, the sword puppet immediately flew towards the completely healed spatial barrier and was once again attacked by the purple-scaled king snake. Under the frenzied attacks of the purple-scaled king snake, the sturdy spatial barrier began to crack, and the sword puppet was even shaken out of the spatial barrier. Hiss, the purple-scaled king snake's blood-red eyes locked onto the sword puppet that flew out of the spatial barrier. It fiercely twisted its huge body and directly penetrated the cracked spatial barrier, chasing after the sword puppet with all its might. It was determined to kill the sword puppet that disturbed its slumber. Jian Chen, let's go. The sword puppet lured the purple-scaled king snake away, while Yi Qinfeng and Jian Chen entered the severely damaged spatial barrier without hesitation and arrived at the spatial teleportation array. Qinfeng, do you have a way to activate this teleportation array? Looking at the dusty teleportation array, Jian Chen asked. Yes. Yi Qinfeng nodded and directed the power of the god-devouring brain to radiate into the teleportation array, attempting to activate it. At this moment, the purple-scaled king snake sensed Yi Qinfeng and Jian Chen's auras appear beside the teleportation array and was immediately enraged. It fiercely twisted its huge body and turned back. Supreme Grade Soul Crystal Ignite explode with speed. As the purple-scaled king snake wriggled its body in the icy pond, the sword puppet quickly ignited its supreme grade soul crystal and increased its speed as much as possible. It passed through the cracks in the purple-scaled king snake's body and entered the hidden space. Not good. The purple-scaled king snake is coming. Looking at the purple-scaled serpent king, whose eyes flickered with killing intent, bared its 10-meter-long fangs, and gave off an aura of death, Jianqin immediately became nervous. Beads of sweat appeared on his forehead as he looked at Yi Qinfeng, who was activating the teleportation formation with all his might. 3 formation inscriptions repair, 10 formation inscriptions repair, 21 formation inscriptions repair. The threat of death grew closer and closer, but Yi Qinfeng, with his large heart, was not affected in the slightest. He dismissed all distracting thoughts and controlled the God-Eater brain to repair the teleportation array with all its might, activating its teleportation power. Despicable human, go to hell. The purple-scaled king snake roared, and an endless amount of purple light shot out from its mouth, tearing through space and bombarding Yi Qinfeng. White snake seal. Suddenly attacked by the purple-scaled king snake, Jianqin did not hesitate to summon the white snake seal to block it. However, the sword puppet was even faster. It used its indestructible body to block the purple light and forcefully nullify the purple-scaled king snake's fatal attack. The energy in his body was completely depleted the moment the purple light hit him. 36 formation inscriptions repair, teleportation. Under the threat of death, the God-Eater brain finally repaired the 36 formation inscriptions and activated its teleportation power. A beam of light shot into the sky. Let's go! Yi Qinfeng bellowed out and put away the sword spirit puppet that had run out of energy. Together with Jianqin, they were teleported away before the purple-scaled serpent could launch its second round of deadly attacks. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blogs, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 471. Buzz. Buzz. When the boundless white light disappeared from Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin's eyes, they found themselves in a valley filled with rocks and a mysterious pressure. A strange power filled the air, forming a mysterious seal, greatly suppressing their cultivation base, causing their strength to drop by nearly 50%. What a powerful seal! Qingfeng, my strength has been suppressed by almost 50%. What about you? Jianqin hurriedly asked Yi Qinfeng after sensing the seal's suppression. My strength has also been suppressed by almost 50%, but my physical strength is not affected. Yi Qinfeng silently sensed his body's condition and frowned. Just as he was trying to condense heavenly Tao patterns to resist the seal, he unexpectedly discovered that heavenly Tao energy could really suppress the seal's suppression. 4 heavenly Tao patterns. When Yi Qinfeng absorbed the dragon egg's essence and perfectly broke through to the level of a supreme king, his physical strength had also increased tremendously. He could completely withstand the power of 4 heavenly Tao patterns. As the 4 heavenly Tao patterns released powerful heavenly Tao energy, the seal's influence on Yi Qinfeng was reduced to the minimum. It only suppressed less than 10% of his strength. Jianqin also wanted to use Tao intent to suppress the seal, but although he had cultivated his way of the sword to the 3rd heavenly layer, his way of the sword was unable to truly suppress the seal. It only increased his strength by a little. If my observation is correct, they should be behind us and have not entered here yet. Let's use this opportunity to increase the distance between us. That way, our chances will increase greatly. Looking around, Yi Qinfeng discovered that Mo Fengyun and the others should not have arrived here yet. He wanted to quickly enter the valley with Jianqin and search for the most precious heavenly Tao inheritance in the misty immortal realm. Rumble. Suddenly, a huge rumble rang out in the quiet valley. Streaks of rapid energy surged at the entrance of the valley. In the next moment, a large number of cracks appeared at the entrance of the valley, forming a huge gap. Not good, they're here. Yi Chen-fong had never thought that he would be so unlucky. Running into Mo Fong-yun and the others as soon as he arrived in the ethereal paradise, he sped up with Jian-chen without any hesitation, flying towards the valley. After expending a great deal of effort, he tore open the restriction at the entrance and entered the winding valley. Mo Fong-yun's sharp eyes discovered Yi Chen-fong and Yi Qingyu flying at high speed. He was stunned and revealed a look of surprise. How could this be? How could there be a stranger here? Could it be that they are from the Misty Mountain? They know the shortcut to entering the misty, immortal realm. Thinking of this, Mo Fong-yun's deep eyes emitted a strong killing intent. Ignoring the suppression of his strength by the mysterious seal, he turned into a beam of black light and quickly chased after Yi Chen-fong. Yi Chen-fong and Jian-chen flew extremely quickly, but Mo Fong-yun was even faster. In less than half an hour, Mo Fong-yun had closed the distance between them. Roar! A powerful sound wave was released from his mouth, blasting towards Yi Chen-fong and Yi Shiwen as if it could pierce through clouds and split rocks. Facing Mo Fong-yun's roar attack, Yi Chen-fong and Jian-chen felt their souls tremble. Their reactions became slightly sluggish, which greatly affected their flying speed. Demonized Giant Hand. After closing the distance, Mo Fong-yun's body surged with boundless demonic light, forming two giant hands that blotted out the sky, grabbing at the two of them. Great Sun, Heavenly Fire Fist! Yi Chen-fong retaliated decisively when he was suddenly attacked by the demonic wind cloud. The black flame, Heavenly Fire, surged into his right fist as he punched out. A blazing red sun collided with the demonic hand that was descending from the sky, forcefully blocking the attack of the demonic hand. Third, heavenly layer of sword wei, break. Jian-chen also attacked at the same time. 30 sword Dao patterns gathered into an extremely sharp sword of light, splitting the demonized hand in half. Yeah. Although Mo Fong-yun had only used around 10% of his strength in the attack before, it was enough to kill regular class 6 Defiant Beast Kings. As a result, Mo Fong-yun was slightly surprised when he saw the two of them block his demonized hand. Interesting. I never thought you would be able to block my attack. With that, ripples appeared beneath Mo Fong-yun's feet, blocking the two of them extremely quickly. Tell me how you entered this place. If you cooperate, I can consider leaving you with an intact corpse, Mo Fong-yun said coldly. Jian-chen, you and I are affected by the mysterious seal. Mo Fong-yun must be affected by the mysterious seal as well. It's not like we don't have a chance against him with the chaotic divine beast. Yi Chen-feng's eyes narrowed as he looked at the most powerful enemy he had encountered so far. He sent a message to the stern Jian-chen beside him. All right, let's fight. Jian-chen sucked in a deep breath as battle intent poured out of his eyes. His presence became sharper and sharper. Looks like you won't give up until you see the coffin. Since that's the case, don't blame me for soul-searching you. When Mo Fong-yun sensed the fighting spirit and fearless expression in Yi Chen-fong and Xiao Chen, he revealed a look of disdain. In his eyes, the Class 1 Defiant Beast King, Yi Chen-fong, and the Class 4 Defiant Beast King were like fish on a chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered by him. Blood Demon Seal. Mo Fong-yun's hands quickly twisted and formed a blood-red hand seal, filled with destructive power. He threw it at Yi Chen-fong and Jian-chen. Roar! A loud dragon's roar rang out. Sensing the threat of death from Mo Fong-yun, Yi Chen-fong decisively fused with his spiritual beast, the two-headed Blood Dragon King, and ignited his dragon bloodline. He faced the attack with his ruler armament, flying immortal sword. A sword light that could change the color of heaven and earth shot out. The dazzling light illuminated the sky and hit the blood demon seal. Blood soared. While Yi Qinfeng attacked with all his strength, Jianqin also fused with his spiritual beast. 30 sword runes intertwined and struck the blood demon seal. When the three powerful attacks collided, a circle of black ripples spread out in all directions. Wherever the ripples passed, a large area of space would distort. The destructive power was extremely terrifying. Primordial chaos attack. The moment Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin worked together to block the blood demon seal, an earth-shaking roar rang out from Yi Qinfeng's body. It was like a tumbling river that bombarded Mo Fengyan. Bang! Mo Fengyan didn't panic at the sudden attack from a primordial chaos divine beast. He quickly threw out a punch and directly shattered the terrifying sound wave. His powerful strength was on full display. This Mo Fengyan is truly terrifying. Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and suppressed the surging qi and blood in his body. He felt that Mo Fengyan was more difficult to deal with than he imagined. Interesting, really interesting. I didn't expect you two small fries and a small beast soul to be able to block my attack. Mo Fengyan, whose strength had been suppressed by the mysterious seal, revealed a trace of savagery as he spoke. Damn it, you dare to call me a small beast soul? If I can recover 1% of my strength, I can kill you with a fart. Hearing Mo Fengyan's address, the primordial chaos divine beast was furious and cursed in his heart. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this moment, the experts from the West Demon sect flew over together and released a powerful aura to lock onto them. After encountering the experts from the West Demon sect in the Misty Mountain, Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin were in danger and couldn't escape. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 472. Luxuriant Moonxian, do you know them? Are they from Misty Mountain? Mo Fengyan, who was standing in the air with his hands behind his back and an aloof expression on his face, glanced at the Valley Master of the Snake Valley and questioned coldly. I don't know them. They don't seem to be from Misty Mountain. The tall and sturdy Mang Yuexian, who wore dark green robes and had eyes that flickered with a faint green light, shook his head as he looked at the unfamiliar faces of Yi Qinfeng and Yi Qinfeng. No, Mo Fengyan frowned slightly. It seems they might have changed their appearance. The Misty Immortal Realm was the greatest forbidden ground of Misty Mountain. Outsiders could not enter at all. So Mo Fengyan firmly believed that the two of them were related to Misty Mountain. Otherwise, they would not have been able to enter without anyone noticing. Brother Jianqin, let's go. As he spoke, Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin suddenly sped up and continued to flee into the depths of the winding valley. What, you still want to escape? Mo Fengyan snorted coldly. His entire body turned into a shadow as he blocked the two of them at a speed that was difficult to see with the naked eye. He sent a palm strike over. The moment Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin were blocked by Mo Fengyan, they decisively withdrew with great tacit understanding and shot toward Luxuriant Moonxian and the others. You're courting death. Luxuriant Moonxian and the others saw Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin charge over and decisively used powerful Dao skills to attack them. They wanted to heavily injure the two of them and force them to reveal their secrets. Vermilion Bird Cauldron. White Snake Seal. At the crucial moment, Yi Qinfeng and Jian Wushuang took out their pseudo-Dao treasures and heavenly treasures to collide with the Dao skills. Rumble. The moment the powerful forces collided, a deafening explosion rang out in the air. It instantly shattered the surrounding rocks and caused large amounts of dust to drift in the wind. Wrath of divine punishment. Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin attacked extremely quickly. The moment the Vermilion Bird Cauldron and White Snake Seal blocked the attacks, the two of them unleashed large-scale destructive attacks. The extreme ancient heavenly lightning, black flame heavenly fire, and extreme ancient heavenly water quickly fused together. Like a destructive meteor, they shot toward the group. Boom! The wrath of divine punishment exploded in the air. The three-colored destructive energy surged out like a tide. The violent explosion caused the world to shake and space to distort as a destructive storm. Sky-splitting astral winds, Jian-Qin, also struck out at the same time. 30 inscriptions of the Way of the Sword turned into a large number of sword shadows that pierced through the destructive storm created by the wrath of the divine wrath. They attacked the panicked experts of the Western Devil sect and the other major forces who were defending with all their might. The combination of the wrath of divine punishment and the heaven-breaking astral wind instantly killed more than 6 peerless kings who couldn't dodge in time and severely injured nearly 10 others. Among the severely injured experts, there were 2 array masters who weren't very strong. They were standing at the front of the crowd. "Damn it, I'm going to skin you alive." Mo Fengyun and the other 2 half-step emperors were enraged when they saw the casualties and the 2 formation masters lying on the ground in a bloody mess. They roared uncontrollably. The injuries of the 2 formation grandmasters had a huge impact on them. Without them breaking the restrictions in the ethereal immortal realm, it would be too difficult for them to obtain the great opportunities inside. Myriad transformations, Black Lotus. Mo Fengyun opened his mouth furiously, and a large amount of demonic aura gathered into a slowly blooming black lotus, filled with the power of death and destruction. It shot toward Yi Qinfeng and Jian-Qin in an attempt to heavily injure them. Vermilion bird cauldron, white snake seal, block. As the 10,000 transformations, Black Lotus flew over, Yi Qinfeng and the other 2 continued to control the 2 supreme treasures to block it. With the help of the vermilion bird cauldron and the white snake seal, they managed to block the destructive attack of the 10,000 transformations, Black Lotus. The white snake seal. Why is Bing Tianliu's white snake seal in your hands? Mo Fengyun immediately recognized the square seal engraved with a large number of ancient inscriptions and a white snake. His face sank even more as he questioned coldly. "Unfortunately, we've already killed Bing Tianliu and the others, so the white snake seal is obviously our spoils of war." Yi Qinfeng purposefully provoked Mo Fengyun and the others as he spoke frankly. "What, Bing Tianliu and the others are dead?" Luxuriant Moon Pavilion and the other Snake Valley experts' faces became abnormally ugly when they heard about the deaths of Bing Tianliu and the others. The same thought appeared in their heads at the same time. Would they follow in Bing Tianliu's footsteps? "Everyone back off. Leave the 2 of them to me." Mo Fengyun had never thought that the ice palace would actually be destroyed. Flames of fury burned within him as he ordered everyone to back off. Just in case Yi Qinfeng and Jian-Qin used the 2 destructive attacks from before and increased the number of casualties. "You really shouldn't have angered me. It won't benefit you at all." Mo Fengyun's body exploded with a frightening, murderous aura. It was as if 2 mountains were pressing down on Yi Qinfeng and Yi Qinfeng. Yi Qinfeng and Jian-Qin immediately felt suffocated by the aura he released. Even breathing became difficult. For million kilograms, explode! As Mo Fengyun's aura became more and more intense, Yi Qinfeng activated the spiritual pearls in his 3 acupoints and erupted with his greatest power. Break! Yi Qinfeng suddenly took a step forward and erupted with a powerful physical strength. He broke through Mo Fengyun's aura with a single kick. In the next moment, 5 killing halos appeared behind Yi Qinfeng. The sword Dao pattern, the thunder Dao pattern, and the fire Dao pattern merged into the King armament, activating the King armament's strongest offensive power. 7 swords of judgment, eclipse. After breaking through Mo Fengyun's momentum, Yi Qinfeng decisively launched an attack. A red sun gradually appeared around his body and instantly turned into a sword of the sun. It carried with it a sword might that could cut through everything. It was as if the sea was overturning the world, tearing apart space and slashing toward Mo Fengyan. Heavenly Punishment Sword. The moment Yi Qinfeng used his ultimate move, Jian Chen fused the sword and wind inscriptions together and slashed out with the heavenly palace. A resplendent sword light that contained the power of heavenly punishment slashed toward Mo Fengyan. Black Wheel of Death. Facing Yi Qinfeng's ultimate move, dozens of black wheels appeared around Mo Fengyan's body. They spun at high speed and collided with Eclipse Sword and Heavenly Punishment Sword. Vermilion Bird Cauldron, White Snake Seal, Suppress. As the three powerful Dao skills clashed, the Vermilion Bird Cauldron and White Snake Seal grew larger and larger. They descended from the sky and suppressed Mo Fengyan, scattering his attacks. Buzz! Buzz! The Vermilion Bird Cauldron and the White Snake Seal came crashing down. The Devil Wind and Cloud instantly sent out 8 palms, each of which was imprinted onto the Vermilion Bird Cauldron and the White Snake Seal, respectively. The powerful attacks shook the 2 supreme treasures, causing them to constantly hum, unable to descend. Powerful, Emperor-level experts are truly terrifying. Yi Qinfeng saw how Mo Fengyan handled the 2 of them with ease and experienced how terrifying he was. He didn't dare to imagine how powerful Mo Fengyan would be when he was at his peak. Primordial Chaos Roar. Mo Fengyan unleashed a powerful attack to block Yi Qinfeng's attack. The primordial chaos divine beast let out another terrifying roar and attacked Mo Fengyan's body, wanting to injure him. Roar. The roar carried the might of a divine beast. Mo Fengyan's pupils shrank, and he also let out a terrifying sound wave. Suddenly, the entire space was filled with powerful sound waves that shook the heavens and earth. It stimulated Yi Qinfeng and Jian Chen's eardrums and caused their blood to boil. They almost spat out a mouthful of blood. I won't play with you guys anymore. The battle can end now. After breaking through the attacks of Yi Qinfeng and the others, Mo Fengyan summoned the celestial blood skeleton and ordered it to attack Yi Qinfeng and Jian Chen. He wanted to kill them in one fell swoop. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 473. Vermilion Bird Cauldron, Meet the Attack. Yi Qinfeng spat out several mouthfuls of essence blood into the Vermilion Bird Cauldron. Screech! An ear-piercing bird cry rang out as the Vermilion Bird's soul absorbed the blood essence that Yi Qinfeng spat out. The Vermilion Bird's soul was activated. Under the control of Yi Qinfeng's will, the Vermilion Bird's soul ferociously charged towards the blood skeletons. Boom! An earth-shattering boom erupted as the Vermilion Bird Cauldron and the Crimson Skull collided. The space around them twisted and warped, forming a slowly rotating vortex. Okay. Mo Fengyan was surprised to see Yi Qinfeng's Vermilion Bird Cauldron not only blocking the Blood Skull's fatal attack, but also suppressing the Blood Skull's attack. Could that cauldron's grade surpass a heavenly treasure? Mo Fengyan's eyes lit up when he saw the Vermilion Bird Cauldron. He was very interested in the Vermilion Bird Cauldron. Dragon bloodline, burn it all! While Mo Fengyan's attention was on the Vermilion Bird Cauldron, Yi Qinfeng completely burned his dragon bloodline and blood. His strength increased threefold, and he flashed toward Mo Fengyan. Blood Devil Seal. As Yi Qinfeng closed in, Mo Fengyan decisively used the Blood Devil Seal. It exploded in the air and shot toward Yi Qinfeng, wanting to kill him. Heartless Heavenly Tao. Yi Qinfeng didn't dodge the Blood Devil Seal. Instead, he condensed 4 Heavenly Tao runes to deduce the Heartless Heavenly Tao and charged forward with heavenly might. Boom! A thunderous explosion rang out. The two powerful Tao skills collided, erupting with boundless energy. Yi Qinfeng was almost unaffected by the mysterious seal. The merciless way of the heavens unleashed its most powerful attack, shattering the demonic blood seal that had been affected. The attack landed on Mo Fingyun's body, forcing him to retreat. The blood and qi in his body churned violently. What? The sect master was forced back by that person? He's only a first-rank defiant beast king. How can his attack be so powerful? Seeing Yi Qinfeng force Mo Fengyan back, the experts of the Western Demon sect were in disbelief. They were completely stunned by Yi Qinfeng's shocking attack. Heavenly punishment strike. The moment Mo Fengyan was forced back, he immediately attacked. His body turned into a sharp shadow as he pointed his sword at Mo Fengyan. The dazzling sword light dyed the entire sky dazzling. An astonishing sword light traversed the void at an extremely fast speed, stabbing towards Mo Fengyan's chest. Jian Chen's attack was extremely fast, but Mo Fengyan's reaction was even faster. The demonic blade of the celestial blood shot out and struck the heavenly execution, forcefully blocking the fatal strike. World destruction. For slaughtering moves. After the heavenly punishment strike was blocked by the demonic saber, Yi Qinfeng continued to attack without slowing down. 9 flame dragons condensed from the Tao of the sword, accompanied by a pitch-black sword light that blended with the force of slaughter and 4 million kilograms of force, bombarded Mo Fengyan, forcefully suppressing him. 100 battles, blood shadow. Mo Fengyan didn't think that he would be suppressed by Yi Qinfeng, who he regarded as an ant. His arrogant heart suffered a blow, and he roared furiously. Surging soul power erupted from his body, like a volcano, turning into a large number of blood shadows that bombarded Yi Qinfeng's Tao skills. Whirlwind. As Yi Qinfeng and Mo Fengyan clashed, Jian Chen appeared beside Mo Fengyan like a gust of wind. The 3 Tao wills instantly turned into a sword qi tornado that engulfed Mo Fengyan and destroyed his defenses. Qi. Under the control of Mo Fengyan's soul force, the demonic heavenly blood saber slashed down viciously, cutting through Jian Chen's sword qi tornado. Jian Chen's eyes narrowed. The moment he dodged the saber shadow, he controlled the white snake seal to suppress it. At this time, Yi Qinfeng increased the intensity of his attacks, bombarding Mo Fengyan like a tidal wave, making him unable to fight back. Boom! The white serpent mark slammed into the heavenly blood devil saber in front of Mo Fengyan. The powerful impact passed through the heavenly blood devil saber and bombarded Mo Fengyan's body, shattering his defense and injuring him. Heavenly Tao merciless. Wrath of divine punishment. Mo Fengyan was injured by the white snake seal. Yi Qinfeng decisively used a killing move to kill him. 4 Tao of heaven runes surged out of his right hand, turning into heavenly Tao merciless. In his left hand, the black heavenly fire, ancient heavenly lightning, and ancient heavenly water quickly gathered to form wrath of divine punishment. Demonic slash of 10 directions. Looking at the heavenly Tao merciless that contained the might of the heavenly Tao and the wrath of divine punishment that was compressed to the extreme, Mo Fengyan exploded with shocking power, forcibly shaking off the white snake seal that was about to hit him. He used his strongest move to meet the attack. A majestic power poured out of his body, suppressing the world. It was like a heavenly demon had descended, bombarding the heavenly Tao merciless and the wrath of divine punishment. Kachacha! The 3 powerful Tao skills intertwined, strangling each other. A winding spatial crack appeared at the center of the explosion, appearing and disappearing as it continued to spread. PFFF. Yi Qinfeng was sent flying by the impact of the destructive power. Large amounts of blood spurted out from his mouth as he slammed heavily into the hard mountain wall, causing it to crack. Fortunately, Yi Qinfeng's physical body was strong enough. With the recovery of the Tao of life, he only suffered light injuries. And Mo Fengyin also suffered a great impact. His blood and qi churned violently, and a trace of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Sect Master is injured. He was actually injured by those two. Heavens, where did those two come from? Why are their attacks so terrifying? There was an insurmountable difference in strength between a beast emperor and a reverse beast king. Moreover, Yi Qinfeng was only a rank 1 reverse beast king, while Jian Chen was only a rank 4 reverse beast king, and Mo Fengyin should have been able to kill them effortlessly. But now, under Yi Qinfeng and Jian Chen's ferocious attacks, Mo Fengyin, who was a peak rank 1 beast emperor, was injured. This made the experts who followed Mo Fengyin's lead look as if they had seen a ghost. Good, very good. I didn't expect you two small fries to be able to injure me. Mo Fengyin wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth with his sleeve and suppressed the surging blood and qi in his body. He glared fiercely at Yi Qinfeng and Jian Qin, and his strength grew stronger and stronger. Mo Fengyin, how about we make a deal? Sensing that Mo Fengyin's strength had increased again, Yi Qinfeng knew that Mo Fengyin was about to transform into his strongest battle form. At that time, his battle strength would increase by several times, and he would be a fatal threat to him. A deal? You two small fries are not worthy of making a deal with me, Mo Fengyin said angrily. Mo Fengyin, you deliberately started a sect war because you wanted to obtain the heavenly Tao inheritance in the misty, immortal realm. However, there is a great opportunity in the misty, immortal realm, and there are restrictions that can kill you. We understand the misty, immortal realm very well, and can bring you to avoid those restrictions and enter the core of the misty, immortal realm. Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and said slowly, Why would you be so kind? Mo Fengyin frowned and asked in a low voice, We naturally don't want to give away the great opportunity in the misty, immortal realm. But with our strength, the chances of obtaining it are too slim. Since you don't understand the misty, immortal realm, you also don't have the chance to obtain the great opportunity in the misty, immortal realm. Therefore, cooperating with us is the best choice. As for the treasures in the misty, immortal realm, we will fight for it with our own strength when we encounter it. Whoever gets it first will get it. Yi Qinfeng continued. All right, I promise you. Mo Fengyin's deep eyes scanned Yi Qinfeng, and Yi Qinfeng, after pondering for a while, he became interested in the cooperation plan proposed by Yi Qinfeng. Although he felt that Yi Qinfeng must have a backup plan for this cooperation, he was confident that with his strength, he could completely control everything and obtain the great opportunity in the misty, immortal realm. At that time, it wouldn't be too late to kill Yi Qinfeng and Yi Qinfeng. Just like that, Yi Qinfeng and Mo Fengyin, each with their own thoughts, decided to cooperate. Mobile reading website. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 474. Qingfeng, isn't cooperating with Mo Fengyin a bit too risky? Jian Qin had experienced Mo Fengyin's terrifying strength when he clashed with him earlier. Jian Qin had no doubt that once Mo Fengyin's strength was no longer suppressed by the mysterious seal or transformed into his beast soul form, he could easily kill him and Yi Qinfeng. Risk and opportunity coexist. If we don't cooperate with them, Mo Fengyin's strength is enough to sweep through us and endanger our lives. If we choose to cooperate with them, not only will we be able to resolve the current danger, we can also borrow their strength to break through the restrictions and hidden dangers of the ethereal immortal realm. Once we're inside, we'll have many chances to break free from their control, Yi Qinfeng replied. Since you've already thought of a plan, let's take a gamble. Jian Qin took a deep breath. Sect Master, do you really believe them? While Yi Qinfeng was communicating with Jian Qin, the the Grand Elder of the Western Devil Sect, Mo Qianli was also communicating with Mo Fengyin. I don't. However, the two of them were able to enter this place without anyone noticing. It's enough to show that they understand this place very well. If we cooperate with them, we should be able to save ourselves a lot of trouble. As for their little schemes, they're nothing to worry about. With our strength, if we can't control them, we won't be qualified to compete for the fortune of the heaven domain. Qianli, when we enter the ethereal immortal realm, you'll be responsible for keeping an eye on that brat who's a Class 4 defiant beast king. Once you discover him doing anything wrong, immediately kill him. I'll keep an eye on the other person myself. Mo Fengyin replied, All right, leave that brat to me. Mo, Qianli nodded as his deep eyes locked onto the cold and arrogant Jian Qin. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's continue. Mo Fengyin ordered his men to carry the two severely injured formation grandmasters. Then he walked over to Yi Qinfeng and said emotionlessly, Okay. Yi Qinfeng nodded and condensed a pair of soul wings with Jian Qin. They flew towards the end of the mysterious valley with Mo Fengyin and the others. It smells so good. What smells so good? Yi Qinfeng's group traveled at high speed for more than an hour. Suddenly, a refreshing fragrance drifted over, entering Yi Qinfeng's and the others' nostrils, making them feel refreshed. What kind of spirit fruit is that? Following the thick fragrance, a red plant that was over a meter tall appeared in front of everyone. At the center of this red plant was a blood-red spirit fruit that made people drool with just a glance. It was a spirit fruit that emitted a thick fragrance. What a powerful spirituality! Could this be a heavenly domain spirit fruit? Looking at the red fruit, everyone's attention was completely drawn to it. Among them, there was an expert in dark blue robes with a tall and straight figure. He was a level 4 defiant beast king of the Western Devil Sect. He rapidly approached, wanting to pluck this spiritual fruit. Wait, don't touch that blood fruit. Mo Fengyin suddenly had an ominous premonition when he saw the blue-robed man's actions. But it was too late. The seemingly harmless, blood-colored plant suddenly attacked. Its sharp branches and whip-like roots directly broke through the blue-clothed man's body defense, piercing through his body and crazily devouring his blood. In just 3 breaths of time, the blue-clothed man was sucked dry by the blood-colored plant. His entire body turned into a dried husk, and he died on the spot. This strange scene made everyone feel a chill down their spines. They looked at the blood-colored plant with vigilance and unease. Tell me, what kind of plant is this? Seeing his subordinate die on the spot, Mo Fengyun's expression was gloomy. He looked at Yi Qinfeng and angrily questioned him. I don't know. Yi Qinfeng shook his head and looked at the blood-sucking plant. Is that so? You really don't know? Mo Fengyin asked with a doubtful expression. Sect Master Mo, our cooperation doesn't include the safety of your subordinates, so their life and death has nothing to do with me. Yi Qinfeng met Mo Fengyun's fierce gaze and said without any trace of politeness. After saying that, Yi Qinfeng ignored Mo Fengyun's angry gaze. Lightning flashed under his feet, and he suddenly approached the blood-colored plant. Sword type, Dao pattern, strangle. Without waiting for the blood-colored plant to attack, the ancient extreme heavenly thunder, black flame heavenly fire, and ancient extreme heavenly water bombarded its body and forcibly shattered its roots. In the next moment, 20 sword Dao patterns flew out and formed a sword pattern vortex. They crushed the steel-like branches of the blood-colored plant and successfully plucked the blood-colored fruit. Hand over the blood-colored fruit. Mo Fengyin didn't expect that while he was speaking, Yi Qinfeng would actually kill the blood-colored plant that seemed to come from the heaven domain and pluck the precious blood-colored fruit. His eyes shot out a terrifying light as he glared at Yi Qinfeng and ordered loudly. Sect Master Mo, do you have a bad memory? Didn't we just agree that the opportunities in the ethereal immortal realm would depend on one's own ability? Are you going to break the promise and snatch it? Yi Chinfeng met Mo Fingyun's angry gaze and coldly questioned him. You. When he heard Yi Chinfeng's public questioning, Mo Fengyun was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. As the #1 expert in the Western continent and the sect master of the Western Devil sect, he had never suffered such humiliation and was publicly contradicted. However, when he saw the man-eating blood-colored plant, he increasingly felt that the ethereal immortal realm was filled with dangers. There might be restrictions that could kill him. After careful consideration, he had no choice but to suppress the anger and killing intent in his heart. He didn't fall out with Yi Chinfeng in public. All right, this blood-colored fruit is yours. The Western Devil sect master said coldly, "This ethereal immortal realm is filled with dangers. I advise those who are weak or hot-headed to not follow us in. Otherwise, this will be their grave." Looking at the gloomy Mo Fengyun, who was suppressing the anger in his heart, Yi Chinfeng revealed a faint smile and gave a warning without holding back. "Let's go. Let's continue." Mo Fengyun regained his composure and urged coldly. Yi Chinfeng and the others were like a long snake as they continued to advance in the narrow valley. Before long, they encountered some strange and mysterious plants that had never appeared in the soul-fighting continent before. These plants had terrifying offensive power and were extremely strange. With the previous experience, Mo Fengyun, Mo Qianli, and the Dark Knight Tower Master all wore black martial arts robes. Their figures were graceful, and they emitted the mature charm of a peach. Together, they killed the dangerous, mysterious plants and plucked the spirit fruits that had been growing for tens of thousands of years. About 10 hours later, Yi Chinfeng's group arrived at the end of the valley. They were blocked by a layer of lightning-like restriction. Do you have a way to break this lightning restriction? Mo Fengyun didn't have a deep understanding of array formations, and the 2 array masters were severely injured by Yi Chinfeng. He could only place his hopes on Yi Chinfeng. "I'll try." Yi Chinfeng nodded with a solemn expression. He walked in front of the lightning restriction and closed his eyes. He controlled the power of the God-Eater brain and shot it into the lightning restriction. While Yi Chinfeng was using the power of the God-Eater brain to break the restriction, Jian Qin silently walked behind him to guard against any sneak attacks from Mo Fengyun and the others. Time ticked by. After about an hour, Yi Chinfeng suddenly opened his tightly shut eyes. The God-devouring brain circulation speed reached its peak as it broke through the lightning restriction in one go. He broke it just like that. The 2 severely injured formation grandmasters widened their eyes. They couldn't believe that Yi Chinfeng was able to break the lightning restriction that seemed to have been passed down from the heaven domain so quickly. Even Mo Fengyun revealed a trace of surprise. His gaze towards Yi Chinfeng changed subtly. "Let's go." With the lightning restriction broken, Yi Chinfeng and Jian Qin didn't hesitate. They passed through the restriction and entered a desolate space filled with deathly stillness. Reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click the save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 475. What a desolate space. After entering the desolate space, Yi Chinfeng discovered that there was not a trace of life in the space before him. The air was filled with a dense aura of death, like a gray fog that gently stirred up the negative emotions in his heart. Where is this place in the misty, immortal realm? Mo Fengyun's eyes emitted a cold light as he looked around the deathly still space. He felt that this place was not simple and questioned in a low voice. "Let me think." Yi Chinfeng quickly scanned through the map of the misty immortal realm in his mind and discovered a place called Corpse Mound that was very similar to this place. This might be the Corpse Mound, the most dangerous place in the misty immortal realm. After passing through here, we will be very close to the core of the misty, immortal realm. However, this place is very dangerous, so we need to work together to have a chance of getting out of here. Yi Qinfeng slowly said, Corpse Mound, could it be that the corpse of a Heaven Domain expert is buried here? Mo Fingyun's eyes lit up, revealing a fiery expression. If he could find the corpse of a Heaven Domain expert, he might be able to ascend to the Heaven Domain one day. Brat, what kind of danger is this corpse mound? Grand Elder Mo Qianli fiercely stared at Yi Qinfeng and questioned without any trace of politeness. I don't know. Yi Qinfeng coldly glanced at him and indifferently replied. Although Yi Qinfeng was far from being Mo Fingyun's opponent, with his current strength and foundation, he was completely capable of killing a half-step combat beast emperor Mo Qianli. Mo Qianli's fiery temper was ignited by Yi Qinfeng's cold words, and his eyes emitted a dense killing intent. If you don't believe me, you can choose not to follow me. Also, do you know how ugly you are? So don't get angry so easily, or else you will become even uglier. Yi Qinfeng ignored Mo Qianli's furious gaze and sneered. He flew with Jian Chun into the depths of the tomb, filled with deathly stillness. Brat, I will let you be arrogant for a while. Once you are no longer useful, I will let you have a taste of my methods. Mo Qianli gritted his teeth in anger as he suppressed the anger in his heart. He glared fiercely at Yi Qinfeng's back as he swore in his heart. Let's go and follow the two of them. At Mo Fingyun's command, he was the first to fly up into the air. He brought Mo Qianli and the others to follow closely behind Yi Qinfeng and Yi Qingyu. Burial mound. There are so many burial mounds in this burial mound. Yi Qinfeng flew at high speed above the corpse mound. Looking at the strange mounds of different sizes on the ground, he immediately lowered his flying altitude and released his powerful soul to penetrate them. Mo Fengyun and the others also released their powerful soul power into the grave pouch to sense the treasures that might be hidden in it. Yes, empty. These graves are all empty. Yi Qinfeng's powerful soul spirit sensed dozens of graves of various sizes and found that they were empty. There was no danger or treasure. Perhaps many of Misty Mountain's geniuses have entered this place in the past 100,000 years and obtained the opportunities here. Yi Qinfeng guessed. As they flew, Yi Qinfeng's eyes, which were as sharp as swords, suddenly discovered a dense mass of blood shadows in the distance. They covered the sky and flew towards him like a crimson storm. His expression changed slightly, and he quickly stopped flying. Yi Qinfeng and Yi Qingyu had discovered the approaching danger. Mo Fengyun and the others had also discovered the danger. What are those things up ahead? Mo Fengyun looked at Yi Qinfeng and Yi Qingyu and loudly asked. If I'm not wrong, those should be the bloodthirsty corpse bats of the corpse mound. They like to eat human flesh and drink human blood. They are extremely vicious, demonic beasts. Yi Qinfeng quickly searched through his soul's memories and replied, Brother Jian Qin, seal your eardrums and protect your soul. Let's charge over. Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and transmitted to Jian Qin beside him. All right. Jian Qin nodded. The Tao of Sword, Tao of Wind, and Tao of Fire surged out of his body and revolved around him. He charged towards the swarm of bloodthirsty corpse bats with Yi Qinfeng. Let's go. Follow the two of them. When Mo Fengyun saw that Yi Qinfeng and Qin Lai had suddenly increased their flying speed, he also accelerated and followed closely behind them. He turned into streaks of light and charged into the swarm of bloodthirsty corpse bats that were emitting a pungent smell of blood and strange sound waves. He forcefully killed the bloodthirsty corpse bats that were the size of an eagle, completely red in color, with incredibly large eyes and sharp fangs. Something's wrong. Yi Qinfeng raised his physical strength to the maximum and controlled the incomparably sharp sword Tao pattern to kill the bloodthirsty corpse bats. However, he realized that the bloodthirsty and extremely ferocious bloodthirsty corpse bats seemed to be afraid of something. They didn't surround them and tear at their flesh. Instead, they flew past them at an extremely fast speed and scrambled to escape behind them. Is there some great danger ahead that these bloodthirsty corpse bats are afraid of? When he thought of the possibility, Yi Qinfeng immediately radiated his powerful soul force. It rapidly extended into the distance to search for any possible dangers. The air currents in the air are beginning to become violent and converge. There's even a psychedelic power hidden within them. When Yi Qinfeng's powerful soul force reached 10,000 meters away, he sensed that something was wrong. An extremely terrifying power was slowly being nurtured. While Yi Qinfeng sensed danger, Jian Chen and Mo Fengyan and the others also sensed that something was wrong. They slowed down their speed of breaking through the bloodthirsty corpse bats and observed the situation. Just as the swarm of bloodthirsty corpse bats flew past Yi Qinfeng and the others, a world-shaking explosion suddenly rang out. It alarmed the entire corpse mound. In the next moment, they saw an expanse of black clouds in the distance that was like a surging tide that swallowed the heavens and the earth, and it swept up numerous black waves that shot into the sky and surged towards them with an overwhelming force, as if the end of the world had arrived. Furthermore, they sensed an extremely terrifying energy within this black storm. This energy was so strong that it was enough to crush them and completely annihilate them. Damn it, this seems to be the most terrifying black tide of death in the corpse mound. Even emperors have no hope of surviving after being devoured by it. It seems that the bloodthirsty corpse bat's rampage is due to its appearance. Recalling the description of the black tide of death in his soul memories, Yi Qinfeng's expression changed drastically. He transmitted a message to Jian Qin and turned to flee. "Tell me, what is that in front of us?" And Mo Fengyun's expression changed drastically when he saw the black tide of death surging towards them. He shouted at Yi Qinfeng and Jian Qin, who had suddenly changed directions. Yi Qinfeng ignored Mo Fengyun's question. He quickly ignited his golden rock bloodline and summoned his golden rock wings and soul wings. He raised his speed to the peak and fled for his life. Jian Qin also activated his spiritual beast bloodline and used the wind dowel to increase his speed as he followed closely behind Yi Qinfeng. "What are you all in a daze for? Quickly follow them. Don't let this black storm engulf you all." The black tide of death grew closer and closer. Even with Mo Fengyun's strength, he still felt a chill in his heart. Seeing Yi Qinfeng and Jian Chen flying faster and faster, he roared and led the panicked experts of the Western Devil Sect to chase after Yi Qinfeng and Jian Chen. The black tide of death moved too quickly, surpassing the speed of light. Adding on the bewitching energy within the black tide of death, many weaker kings were gradually caught up by the black tide of death. Ah! Following two miserable cries, 2 kings of the Snake Valley were engulfed by the black tide of death. In an instant, their bodies were crushed by the terrifying energy within the black tide of death. Mobile reading website. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 476. Jian Qin go northwest. As Yi Qinfeng flew, his soul completely spread out. He sensed that the terrain to the northwest of the tomb was rather complicated. He might be able to find a place to avoid the black tide of death. So he immediately flew northwest with Jian Qin. Follow them. Mo Fengyun and the others who were in hot pursuit all sped up. They followed closely behind Yi Qinfeng and Jian Qin, trying their best to avoid the beast-like black tide of death. Save me. Sect Master, save me. After half an incense stick's worth of time, 2 kings of the West Devil Sect, who were flying relatively slowly, were swept away by the black tide of death. They let out their final wails as their bodies were ground to pieces. Not even their bones were left behind. Mountain. There's a mountain range up ahead. Yi Chen-feng and the others flew for more than an hour under the threat of death. Through the thick gray fog, they saw a large black shadow in front of them. It seemed to be a vast mountain range. Overjoyed, they all increased their speed and flew over. As long as they could fly into the mountain range, they could use the complicated terrain to avoid the black tide of death's baptism. Yi Chen-feng and Jian-chen took the lead and charged into the black mountain range that was several hundred meters tall and extended for several dozen kilometers. They passed through the black, iron-like trees in search of a suitable place to hide. Mo Fengyun and the others followed closely behind Yi Chen-feng and Jian-chen, entering the black mountain range. They quickly spread out and avoided the black tide of death's attack. After just 5 breaths of time, the black tide of death gushed into the black mountain range, causing the entire mountain range to tremble violently. The huge black trees that were as hard as iron were instantly turned into dust. Large areas of mountain rocks crumbled. An entire world was in chaos. What terrifying energy! This ethereal immortal realm is truly too terrifying. Jian-chen, who was hiding in a small cave in the black mountain range, looked at the apocalyptic tide that covered the entire sky and felt a chill run down his spine. He prayed that the black tide of death would pass quickly. This was because once the black mountain range could not endure the black tide of death's attack and completely collapsed, they would all be killed by the black tide of death. Time passed second by second. Everyone waited uneasily for time to pass. After half an incense stick's worth of time, the black tide of death finally passed. However, the space was still unstable. A large amount of black gas filled the void. Yes, this black mountain range that was severely damaged by the black tide of death is repairing itself. Just as Yi Chen-feng and Jian-chen let out a long sigh of relief and walked out of the narrow cave, they were surprised to find that a strange power filled the air. The boulders, mountains, and broken trees that had been destroyed by the black tide of death were actually repairing themselves. What's going on? Jian-chen's eyes widened when he saw this unimaginable scene. Disbelief filled his face. If I'm not mistaken, this corpse mound should contain a magical formation. That terrifying black tide of death, the black mountain range under our feet, and everything in the corpse mound should have been nurtured by that formation. That's why this black mountain range was baptized by the black tide of death and destroyed. That's why it can repair itself. Yi Chen-feng closed his eyes and controlled the God-Eater brain to sense for a moment. He figured out the reason for this strange scene and said slowly, "This misty immortal realm truly comes from the heaven domain. Everything here is completely unimaginable." Jian-chen sighed and said, "Chen-feng, do you know what the most precious inheritance in this misty immortal realm is?" "The most precious inheritance in this misty immortal realm should be the inheritance of the heavenly way," Yi Chen-feng said. "The heavenly way, the fundamental heavenly way of all Taoists." Jian-chen's eyes widened in shock. He never thought that the misty immortal realm would have the legendary heavenly ways inheritance. What he did not expect even more was that Yi Chen-feng had already comprehended the heavenly way in the ancient palace. "Yes, it's them." As he spoke, Yi Chen-feng's sharp eyes suddenly discovered a few familiar figures coming out of the valley not far away. They were also stunned by the miraculous scene in front of them. "It's the people from the Snake Valley." Jian-chen's eyes flickered with dense killing intent. He sent a message to Yi Chen-feng. "Chen-feng, should we use this opportunity to eliminate them?" "That's exactly what I was thinking." The corner of Yi Chen-feng's mouth rose slightly as a trace of coldness appeared. With a flash, he and Jian-chen appeared in front of the Snake Valley's Valley Master, Meng Yuexian and the others. "It's you." Seeing the sudden appearance of Yi Chen-feng and Jian-chen, Meng Yuexian's face sank as he sensed the coldness coming from them. He asked cautiously, "What do you want?" "I think this place is not bad. It's very suitable to be your grave." With a thought, Yi Qinfeng took out his ruler armament and said with a murderous intent, "You dare!" After witnessing Yi Qinfeng and Jian Chen's strength against Mo Fengyin, Meng Yuexian could not help but feel some fear. He wanted to break out of the encirclement. Buzz! An ear-piercing sword hum rang out. Jian Qin did not waste any words with Meng Yuexian. He instantly fused with his spiritual beast and ignited its bloodline. He interweaved 30 sword Dao patterns and attacked Meng Yuexian. 30 sword Dao patterns transformed into sword shadows that instantly enveloped luxurious Moon Pavilion, suppressing his attacks and forcing him to retreat continuously. The moment Jian Qin attacked, Yi Qinfeng attacked as well. The 5-kilometer-long, twin-headed blood Dragon King appeared around him. Its terrifying dragon aura instilled fear in the Snake Valley experts. Instant kill! Yi Qinfeng stabbed out with his sword. An ear-piercing sound rang out as a sword tore through the air like a bolt of lightning, stabbing towards a Class 4 Snake Valley Defiant Beast King who had turned pale with fright. The Class 4 Defiant Beast King instinctively wanted to dodge Yi Qinfeng's shocking attack. However, the moment he dodged, 10 sword Dao patterns shot out and pierced through his defenses. They pierced his throat and killed him instantly. After killing one person, Yi Qinfeng continued to attack. The pseudo-Dao treasure vermilion bird cauldron flew out of his body and suppressed the terrified Snake Valley experts with a powerful pressure. Boom! A loud, trembling sound rang out as the vermilion bird cauldron, which seemed to have the flickering shadow of a vermilion bird, descended from the sky. The cauldron crushed another Snake Valley expert to death, causing cracks to appear on the rapidly mending ground. Sect Master Mo, save us! Having been completely suppressed by Jian Qin, the Meng Yuexian cried out for help. Only the appearance of Mo Fengyin could save their lives. No one can save you today. Heavenly Punishment Sword. The sword Dao pattern, wind Dao pattern, and fire Dao pattern fused together to form a world-destroying sword light that pierced towards the luxurious Moon Pavilion. Celestial Treasure, Serpent Spear. Sensing the destructive power of Jian Chen's attack, Meng Yuexian summoned the Serpent Spear without any hesitation to receive the attack. A dark green serpent emerged from his body and tore through the chaotic space, stabbing at Jian Chen's Heavenly Punishment Sword. As soon as the two powerful attacks collided, an astonishing destructive force erupted. The powerful explosive force bombarded Meng Yuexian's body, directly shattering his body's defenses. He was forced to retreat continuously, the blood and qi in his body churning violently. Seeing Jian Chen's terrifying attack power, Meng Yuexian's body flashed, turning into a green light as he tried to forcefully escape. However, Yi Qinfeng, who had killed 3 Snake Valley experts, appeared in front of him and sealed off his escape route. Meng Yuexian, you traitor! You can go to hell now. Yi Qinfeng looked at him coldly and was about to kill Meng Yuexian. Stop! At this moment, a thunderous roar rang out. Hearing Meng Yuexian's cry for help, Mo Fengyin and the others rushed over. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this book. You will see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 477. The Heavenly Tao is Merciless. Yi Qinfeng ignored Mo Fengyun's roar, for Heavenly Tao runes surged out of his body and instantly transformed into a terrifying heavenly might. Like a torrent of heaven and earth, they bombarded luxurious Moon Xian. 100 Snake Dance. Sensing the vast destructive power of the Heavenly Tao, luxurious Moon Xian felt as if he was facing the heavens. Instinctively he felt fear. Without hesitation, he burned his spiritual beast's bloodline and qi and blood power to use the strongest attack he had mastered to resist with all his strength. His violent soul power instantly condensed into hundreds of dancing snakes, sealing off the space in front of him and withstanding the merciless attack of the heavenly Tao. Rumble! The space sealed by the 100 snakes trembled violently as the 10 great Tao runes destroyed the wild dance of the 100 snakes as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing heavily towards Mang Yuxian, whose expression changed drastically. PFFF. Luxurious Moon Xian's defenses were broken through by the heavenly Tao. His chest caved in, and a large amount of blood spurted out of his mouth. He was like a kite with a broken string as he heavily fell back. Heavenly punishment sword. As Luxurious Moon Xian flew back, Jianqin, who was controlling the white snake seal to suppress the snake spear, made his move. 30 sword runes fused into the slaughtering calamity sword, a heavenly punishment sword light that was several times faster than the speed of light pierced Luxurious Moon Xian's chest and pierced his heart. Following that, Yi Qinfeng punched out with a force of 4 million jin, smashing Luxurious Moon Xian's head and ending his life. "You're courting death." Mo Fengyan, who had hurried over, was furious when he saw that Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin had completely ignored him and killed Luxurious Moon Xian right under his nose. Dense killing intent radiated from his body as 2 blood-red palm prints fell from the sky towards Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin. Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin decisively dodged the blood demon seal. At the same time, Yi Qinfeng opened the vermilion bird cauldron and stored Luxurious Moon Xian's relic, the snake spear, inside. Courting death! Mo Fengyan had never thought that not only did Yi Qinfeng kill Mang Yuxian, he even dared to take the heavenly treasure serpent spear for himself. The fury in his heart completely exploded, and he unleashed a powerful attack at the 2 of them. Black Wheel of Death. As he closed in on Yi Qinfeng, dozens of black light wheels filled with the power of death shot out from Fengyan's body and circled in the sky, attacking them from all directions. Vermilion bird cauldron. White snake seal. Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin decisively used their treasures to defend against the black wheel of death, blocking Mo Fengyan's ultimate move. Mo Fengyan, do you really want to shed all pretense of cordiality with us? Let me tell you, without me, none of you can leave this place alive. Yi Qinfeng controlled the vermilion bird cauldron to protect his body as he glared at Mo Fengyan with a dark expression. I hate being threatened the most. Do you believe that I won't capture you right now and personally search your soul? Mo Fengyan coldly snorted and threatened. Mo Fengyan, I hope you won't regret this decision. Let's go. With that, Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin prepared to forcefully break out of the encirclement. None of you will be able to leave. Mo Fengyan roared and took out the heavenly treasure blood skull. It released a boundless blood-red light that enveloped Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin in an attempt to trap them. Vermilion bird cauldron, white snake seal attack. Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin spat out their essence blood at the same time as the blood skull's attack. They controlled the 2 treasures to collide with the blood skull. Rumble. When the 3 treasures collided, they erupted with earth-shaking energy that spread in all directions and distorted a large area of space. Golden rock bloodline ignition. Wind Dao intent. The instant space distorted, Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin decisively put away their treasures and pushed their speed to the limit. They charged into the sky and forcefully broke out of the encirclement. Myriad transformations, demonic light, bind. Mo Fengyan followed the 2 of them into the sky. A large amount of demonic energy turned into countless strands of demonic light that forcefully bound Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin, slowing them down. Wrath of divine punishment. The myriad transformations, demonic light shot over, while ancient heavenly water, black heavenly fire, and ancient heavenly lightning rapidly surged out of Yi Qinfeng's body. They turned into wrath of divine punishment and heavily smashed into the myriad transformations, demonic light. Leave your lives behind, the two of you. Mo Fengyan relied on his powerful strength to forcefully tear apart the destructive storm and obstruct Yi Qinfeng and Jian Qin. He launched a fatal attack at them. Primal Chaos Roar. At the critical moment, the primal chaos divine beast let out a deafening roar and attacked Mo Fengyan like a flood. It forcefully pushed him back and opened a path. Just as Yi Qinfeng and Jian Qin were about to forcefully break out of the encirclement, the bloodthirsty corpse bats that they had encountered earlier appeared again. They covered the sky and flew towards them like a red hurricane. Seeing the approaching bloodthirsty corpse bats, Yi Qinfeng and the other two's expressions changed slightly. They quickly stopped fighting. Hand over the snake spear, and I will let this matter rest. Mo Fengyan gradually calmed down as he looked at the swarm of bloodthirsty corpse bats and thought of the black death tide that could kill him. He also thought of the various dangers in the ethereal immortal realm. He coldly ordered Yi Qinfeng, I will not give you the snake spear. If you want to continue cooperating with us, you have to kill the people from the Snake Valley with your own hands. Otherwise, there is nothing to talk about. Looking at Mo Fengyan's uncertain expression, Yi Qinfeng guessed that the black death tide had a great impact on him. He rolled his eyes slightly and deliberately said this to test Mo Fengyan's bottom line. Do you really think that I don't dare to kill you? Mo Fengyan didn't expect Yi Qinfeng to be so bold. Not only did he not listen to his orders, but he even dared to threaten him. His eyes were burning with rage as he spoke coldly. Mo Fengyan, we are all smart people. Your little tricks are useless against me. In short, kill the people from the Snake Valley and we will continue our cooperation. Otherwise, we will break up. As for your thoughts of capturing me and searching my soul, you better forget about it. If I really want to leave, you can't stop me. Yi Qinfeng met Mo Fengyan's furious gaze and said domineeringly, You. Mo Fengyan was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. He wanted nothing more than to tear Yi Qinfeng into pieces. However, when he thought of the murderous intent in the corpse mound and the terrifying black death tide, Mo Fengyan knew that now wasn't the time to fall out with Yi Qinfeng. Once Yi Qinfeng and Mo Fengyan managed to escape, not only would he encounter danger in the corpse mound, but they who were familiar with the terrain would also be able to snatch the great opportunity in the ethereal immortal realm first and cause all his efforts to go down the drain. Thinking of this, Mo Fengyan took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in his heart. He said, You guys win. Let's continue our cooperation. In that case, Sect Master Mo, please help us kill the remnants of the Snake Valley. Yi Qinfeng looked at Mo Fengyan, who was trying his best to control his emotions, and revealed a victorious smile. Don't worry, they won't survive. Mo Fengyan's words announced the end of the Snake Valley. Because of their own selfish interests, they betrayed the ethereal mountain and secretly colluded with the Western Demon Sect in an attempt to overthrow the Northern Spirit regions, Ice Palace, and Snake Valley. Because of Yi Qinfeng, they had reached their end. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 478. Let's go. We're leaving this place. The bloodthirsty corpse bats that blotted out the sky left, and the expert of the Snake Valley died in despair. Having adjusted himself to his peak condition, Yi Qinfeng did not waste any more time. He flew into the air with Jian Qin, leaving the strange black mountain range. Following the map in his head, he flew towards the depths of the corpse mound. Sect Master, can you really swallow this resentment? With our strength, we definitely have the ability to capture the two of them and control them. The great elder, Mo Qianli, glared at the backs of Yi Qinfeng and Mo Qianli, gnashing his teeth as he asked. "We can indeed capture them, but controlling them is very difficult. Once we fail, we'll be in big trouble. So let them be happy for now. Sooner or later, they'll cry." Mo Fingyun's eyes flickered. What a large tomb! Under Yi Qinfeng's lead, the group flew at high speed for most of the day. They did not run into any major dangers. As they flew, they saw a large group of extremely luxurious tombs that occupied a large area in front of them. Break! Above the tomb, Mo Fengyan quickly formed a seal with his hands. A powerful blood devil seal viciously fell down, forcibly breaking through the restrictions above the tomb and creating a large hole in the tomb. Yes, it's empty. This tomb is empty. Yi Qinfeng and the others all released their powerful soul force into the tomb. They sensed the situation inside and searched for the fortuitous encounter inside. But after a while, Yi Qinfeng and the others were disappointed to find that the tomb was empty. There was nothing inside. Brat, what kind of fortuitous encounter is inside this corpse mound? Mo Fengyan, who hadn't found any fortuitous encounter, looked at Yi Qinfeng and asked in a low voice, "I don't know." Yi Qinfeng coldly replied and continued to fly into the depths of the corpse mound. "Fuck! Once you're no longer of any use, I'll definitely let you taste the pain of being devoured by 10,000 devils." Mo Fengyan was somewhat vexed inside. After another half a day, Yi Qinfeng and the others found another huge group of tombs. However, when they broke through the restrictions of the tombs, they still did not find any opportunities, just as Yi Qinfeng's group continued forward in disappointment, breaking through one empty tomb after another and gradually approaching the end of the burial mound. They saw a giant stone tablet that was at least 10 meters tall in the distance. On the stone tablet, the word heaven was written in flamboyant gold. Behind the giant stone tablet, there was a tomb that seemed to be made of white jade. Powerful restrictions flowed slowly on the surface of the tomb, like streams of light. Will of the Heavenly Tao. This character contains the will of the Heavenly Tao. When Yi Qinfeng's group approached the giant stone tablet, Yi Qinfeng's soul could clearly sense the Heavenly Tao concept within the golden heaven character. "Blood devil seal, break for me!" Mo Fengyan roared as his soul power transformed into a giant blood-red palm print. With an unparalleled sense of oppression, it slammed into the restriction on the surface of the tomb. Buzz. After being attacked by Mo Fengyan's blood devil seal, the restriction that flowed with white light only trembled twice before returning to normal. This tomb's restriction definitely comes from the heaven domain. The two formation masters who had mostly recovered opened their eyes wide. Looking at the powerful restriction, they could not wait to try to break it and comprehend the Tao concept within. "Brother Jianqin, I have a feeling that there might be a great opportunity in this tomb. Once the restriction is broken, we'll immediately charge in," Yi Qinfeng said to Jianqin as the two formation masters worked together to break the restriction. "All right." Jianqin nodded. 30 sword Tao inscriptions revolved around his body as he waited solemnly. Time passed minute by minute. Under the joint efforts of the two formation masters, ripples appeared on the surface of the restriction. Moreover, the ripples grew larger and larger, causing the entire restriction to distort. Everyone, attack the center of the distorting restriction together. Let's work together to break this restriction. Yi Qinfeng shouted. With that, Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin were the first to attack. Two shocking sword rays fell together and struck the center of the distorting restriction. Attack! When Yi Qinfeng and Jianqin attacked, Mo Fengyan also led the experts to attack. With everyone's combined strength, they broke through a large area of the distorting restriction and blasted open the tomb that seemed to be carved from white jade. In the next moment, a vast amount of energy surged out of the tomb and filled the air, causing everyone's eyes to light up. There really is a treasure down there. And Mo Fengyan's eyes burned with desire. However, Yi Qin-feng and Jian Qin reacted even faster. Like two arrows, they drew two streaks of light in the air and dove towards the huge hole in the tomb. "Let's go!" Mo Fingyun's eyes flashed with killing intent. He raised his speed to the peak and followed the two into the tomb that was surging with vast amounts of energy. Supreme-grade moonlight stone. After entering the huge tomb, Yi Qin-feng and the others discovered that there were thousands of extremely valuable supreme-grade moonlight stones embedded in the walls of the tomb, illuminating the entire tomb as if it was daytime. In the center of the tomb, there was a dark purple crystal coffin. Inside the coffin was a middle-aged man wearing dark golden armor. He was tall and sturdy, and there was a long-incised crystal embedded in his forehead. He was emitting a powerful aura of oppression. What a terrifying aura! Could this person be from the heaven domain? Sensing the terrifying aura from the middle-aged man, even Mo Fengyin, who was one step away from becoming a second-grade combat beast emperor, felt immense pressure. He had a feeling that this man in golden armor was most likely from the heaven domain that he yearned for. His strength when he was alive was at a level that he could only look up to. Mo Fengyin was attracted by the golden-armored man, but Yi Qin-feng was attracted by the long-incised crystal on his forehead. According to the feedback from the God-Eater brain, the crystal on the golden-armored man's forehead was most likely a sky crystal. If he could fuse with the sword puppet, his strength would break through the shackles of a beast king and reach the emperor realm. At that time, he would no longer need to fear Mo Fengyin. "You, go take a look and shatter that crystal coffin." The aura from the man in golden armor was too terrifying. Mo Fengyin didn't dare act rashly and ordered a rank 3 beast king from the Western Devil sect to approach the crystal coffin. Sect master." Hearing Mo Fengyun's order, the king from the Western Devil sect turned pale with fright. He had a feeling that approaching the man in golden armor meant approaching death. "If you don't go, I'll immediately kill you," warned Mo Fengyin. "Yes, I'll go." Under Mo Fengyun's ferocious gaze, the king from the Western Devil sect had no choice but to suppress the fear in his heart. He ignited his bloodline to increase his strength as he slowly approached. "Break for me." Once he got close to the crystal coffin, he roared and poured all his strength into his palms, smashing them into the crystal coffin. Boom! The crystal coffin only trembled slightly. In the next moment, beams of white light shot out from the heavenly crystal embedded in the golden-armored man's forehead. The golden-armored man suddenly opened his eyes and looked at the peerless king of the West Devil sect, who was scared out of his wits and whose face was deathly pale. Seeing that the golden-armored man had woken up, the peerless king of the West Devil sect was scared out of his wits and wanted to flee. Suddenly, a terrifying aura gushed out from the golden-armored man's body and pressed down on his body, making him unable to move. "Those who disturb my slumber die." The golden-armored man let out a voice that made people feel fear. He slowly sat up, and under the horrified gazes of the crowd, he opened his mouth. A long, whip-like tongue shot out and pierced through the chest of the peerless king of the West Devil sect, instantly sucking all the blood from his body. Seeing the man in golden armor's terrifying strength and strange methods, everyone felt a chill run down their spines. Reading on mobile phones. This book's address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blogs, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 479. Those who disturb my slumber die. After sucking dry the blood of the Western Devil sect's peerless king, the golden-armored man's eyes, which were as black as ink, shot out a thick, killing intent as he locked onto Yi Qin-feng and the others. Supreme Grade Heaven Artifact. His spear is a Supreme Grade Heaven Artifact. Mo Fengyun's eyes immediately lit up when he saw the inscribed black spear in the man's hand. There was not a single supreme, grade heaven artifact in the entire Western continent. If he could obtain it, his offensive power would increase by at least 10 times. At that time, he would have complete confidence in controlling everything and obtaining the fortuitous encounter in the misty, immortal realm. Apart from the spear, the armor on the man's body was also an impressive treasure. From the luster and power it contained, it should be a high, grade heaven artifact battle armor. Let's work together and kill him. We'll fight over his treasures with our own abilities. Mo Fengyin stared deeply at the man who posed a great threat to him. He secretly sent a message to Yi Chunfeng and Jian Qin, who had the vermilion bird cauldron and white snake seal. Sure. Yi Chunfeng nodded and agreed without hesitation. However, Yi Chunfeng's target wasn't the man's spear or armor. Instead, it was the heavenly crystal on the man's forehead. If he could obtain it, the sword puppet's battle prowess would surpass defiant beast kings and reach the level of an emperor. Coupled with its indestructible body, even if Mo Fengyin obtained a supreme grade heaven artifact spear, there would be nothing to fear. Those below rank 6 defiant beast kings, leave immediately. The rest of you attack with me. Sensing the man's aura grow stronger and stronger, Mo Fengyin immediately summoned the blood skeleton and the high-grade heaven artifact, demonic blood blade. He took the risk to attack the man. Die. The golden-armored man let out a muffled roar when he saw the demon's storm approaching. The purple crystal coffin that was as hard as steel shot out and crashed into him at an extremely fast speed. Blood skeleton. Mo Fengyin immediately summoned the celestial blood skeleton to collide with the coffin. Boom! The moment the two treasures collided, the blood skeleton trembled violently. The blood chi it emitted was directly destroyed by the coffin. Chi! An ear-piercing sound rang out as the golden-armored man unleashed a terrifying spear strike, aiming for Mo Fengyin's chest like a black flood dragon. Great demon, slaying dragon blade. The golden-armored man thrust his spear forward. 30 dark Tao patterns and 30 saber Tao patterns gushed out of Mo Fengyin's body and merged into the heavenly devil blood saber. A saber light that resembled a roaring black dragon slashed out and slashed at the golden-armored man. Bang! When the two attacks collided, the black spear light pierced through Mo Fengyin's great demon slay dragon slash. Mo Fengyin's spear was aimed at Mo Fengyin's chest. At the critical moment, Mo Fengyin quickly placed the heavenly blood devil saber in front of his chest. With the help of the strong defensive power of the heavenly blood devil saber, he resisted the attack of the black spear. Pooh! When the black spear struck the heavenly blood devil saber, the incomparably sharp attack penetrated the heavenly blood devil saber and blasted into Mo Fengyin's body, injuring him. A large amount of blood spurted out from his mouth. Sect Master is injured. Mo Qianli and the others were shocked to see Mo Fengyin, who was one step away from becoming a rank 2 battle beast emperor, get injured by the golden-armored man. What are you all standing there for? Attack with me. Mo Fengyin quickly consumed a heaven-level soul pellet to suppress his injuries and shouted at Yi Chunfeng and the others. Hearing Mo Fengyin's shout, Great Elder Mo Qianli, Dark Knight Tower Master Guyu, 2 half-step emperors, and more than a dozen 6th-level beast kings attacked the man in golden armor together. However, Yi Chunfeng and Jian Qin, who had just agreed to help, did not immediately help. Primal chaos! Can you sense the strength of that man who seems to be from the heaven domain? After seeing the golden-armored man's terrifying strength, Yi Chunfeng asked the knowledgeable primal chaos divine beast with inherited memories. No, that person's strength is not stable. I can't sense his true strength. The primal chaos divine beast replied, What are you two standing there for? If you don't attack, we'll retreat immediately. Don't even think about obtaining the fortune here. just as Yi Qinfeng was communicating with the primal chaos divine beast, Mo Fengyin, who was enduring the pressure from the golden-armored man's ferocious attacks, roared furiously. "Brother Jianchen, let's attack. You help restrain the crystal coffin. Leave the golden-armored man to me." In order to obtain the crucial heaven crystal, Yi Qinfeng and Jianchen attacked. "All right, be careful." Jianchen nodded. With a flash of wind, he took the risk to approach the purple crystal coffin that was violently colliding with the blood skull. He summoned the white serpent seal and slammed it into the coffin. Under the dual attacks of the blood skull and the white serpent seal, the purple crystal coffin was completely suppressed. The golden-armored man was unable to control the crystal coffin to attack Mo Fengyin and the others. Vermilion bird cauldron. Yi Qinfeng roared and summoned the pseudo-Dao treasure, the vermilion bird cauldron, to suppress the golden-armored man. Feeling the threat of the vermilion bird cauldron emerging from the vermilion bird's shadow, the golden-armored man thrust forward with his black spear. The spear light was like a black flood dragon as it ruthlessly stabbed into the vermilion bird cauldron, interweaving with dazzling flames. The golden-armored man's spear was a supreme-grade heaven artifact. It was extremely powerful. When it struck the vermilion bird cauldron, it directly suppressed its attack and sent it flying. Demon slaying dragon blade. While the golden-armored man was attacking the vermilion bird cauldron with all his strength, Mo Fengyin ignited his spiritual beast's bloodline and activated his own attack. Several strands of Dao were fused into the demonic, heavenly blood saber. Once again, a demonic, dragon-like saber light slashed at the golden-armored man's chest. Mo Fengyin's attack was extremely powerful. It was enough to heavily injure a first-grade beast emperor. However, when it struck the golden-armored man's chest, it failed to break through his defenses. It only forced him back a step. Myriad transformations, Black Lotus, Black Wheel of Death, Celestial Blackstone. Mo, Qianli, Guyu, and the others also launched their attacks at the golden-armored man. They wanted to gather everyone's strength to injure him. After being attacked continuously, a crack appeared on the golden-armored man's heaven artifact battle armor. A sticky black liquid flowed out from the crack. He's injured. The golden-armored man is injured. Seeing the black liquid flowing out from the golden-armored man's body, Mo Fengyin and the others were overjoyed. They all increased the intensity of their attacks, wanting to injure him severely and snatch his treasures. Roar! 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 Suddenly, the heaven crystal embedded in the golden-armored man's forehead shone brightly. An inhuman roar was released from the golden-armored man's mouth, bombarding Mo Fengyin and the others at close range. Buzz! Mo Fengyin, Mo Qianli, and Guyu's souls trembled when they saw the golden-armored man's terrifying roar attack. They instinctively retreated. As for the slightly slower class 6 Beast Kings, their minds went blank for a moment. Their dodging speed slowed down for a moment. Chi! There was the sound of cloth tearing. A supreme-grade heaven artifact spear that looked like a black flood dragon tore through the spatial zone and pierced through the chests of 3 Class 6 Beast Kings. In the next moment, his scarlet tongue popped out. It extended to dozens of meters and wrapped around the 3's bleeding bodies. He wanted to devour their blood and heal his injuries. 7 Swords of Judgment, Waning Moon. Relying on the defense of the God-Eater brain, Yi Qinfeng executed his killer, moved the moment the golden-armored man's roar attack attacked. The rolling slaughter power, Sword Dao pattern, Thunder Dao pattern, and Fire Dao pattern fused into the monarch armament, forming a crescent-shaped sword arc. It was like a waning moon in the sky. It slashed down ruthlessly and struck the golden-armored man's tongue. The sharp attack forcefully severed it, causing the golden-armored man to roar in pain and become even crazier. Roar! You lowly people! I will take your lives! Having his tongue severed by Yi Qinfeng completely infuriated the golden-armored man. He let out a terrifying roar and turned into a black light, charging at Yi Qinfeng. Facing an expert suspected to be from the heaven region, Yi Qinfeng was in danger. Mobile reading site. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click bookmark at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 480. Heavenly Tao's Heartless. The golden-armored man brought along a suffocating aura of death as he approached. Yi Qinfeng did not hesitate to shoot out 4 heavenly Tao runes, deducing the power of heaven's might as he attacked. Feeling the heavenly Tao's heartless, the golden-armored man hesitated for a moment. His reaction was slightly delayed as the heavenly Tao's heartless tore through the void and struck his body. Primordial chaos roar. The moment the golden-armored man was struck by the heavenly Tao's heartless, the primordial chaos divine beast in the primordial divine would let out an extremely destructive roar. Like a ball of destructive light, it blasted into the golden-armored man's body. Roar! Roar! After being attacked continuously, the powerful golden-armored man suddenly covered his head with both hands and let out a painful howl. It was obvious that the previous attack had caused him great damage. I know now. This body is indeed from the heaven domain. However, his soul spirit is not the heaven domain's soul spirit. His body is being controlled by another soul spirit. Hence, we only need to erase the soul spirit in his body to resolve this crisis. Seeing the golden-armored man howling in pain, the primordial chaos divine beast could tell the secret of his body and its intentions. After knowing the true situation of the golden-armored man, Yi Qinfeng did not hesitate to shoot out the ancient heavenly thunder and black flame, heavenly fire at the golden-armored man. He wanted to make use of the heavenly fire and heavenly thunder's damage to the soul spirit to directly attack the golden-armored man's soul spirit. Die. After suffering the attacks of the ancient heavenly thunder and black flame, heavenly fire, the golden-armored man whose soul spirit was injured went berserk. He held an extremely sharp black spear and was like a dancing black dragon as he thrust it at Yi Qinfeng. Vermilion bird cauldron. The golden-armored man's attack power was too terrifying. He had the ability to instantly kill Yi Qinfeng. Before the sharp spear could get close, he quickly controlled the vermilion bird cauldron to block it. Sect Master MO. The heaven domain expert's body is being controlled by an external soul spirit. We only need to destroy the soul spirit that is controlling him, and we will be able to deal with him. The moment the vermilion bird cauldron blocked the attack, Yi Qinfeng shouted at Mo Fengyin and the others. He told them the secret of the golden-armored man's body. Let's attack. Hearing Yi Qinfeng's words, Mo Fengyun's eyes lit up as he recalled the scene of the golden-armored man howling in pain after being attacked by the chaos roar. He continued to lead Mo, Qianli, Guyu, and the others to attack the golden-armored man. In order to kill the soul in the golden-armored man's body in one fell swoop, Mo Fengyin released a powerful roar while striking out dark Tao patterns that contained devouring power. He was trying his best to attack the golden-armored man's soul. Facing the series of soul attacks from Yi Qinfeng and the others, the man in golden armor kept howling in pain. Streams of dark red blood flowed out from his 7 orifices, making him look extremely ferocious and terrifying. The golden-armored man's soul spirit was constantly under attack. With his weakness exposed by Yi Qinfeng and the others, the golden-armored man executed his killer move. 80 earth Tao patterns shot out from his body and revolved around him, neutralizing the ferocious attacks from Yi Qinfeng and the others. Earth Tao Insight, 8 heavens. Looking at the 80 earth Tao patterns that revolved around the golden-armored man, everyone was deeply shocked and revealed a grave expression. This was the first time that everyone, including Mo Fengyan, saw someone comprehending Tao insights to the eighth heavens. This body is indeed from the heaven region. Its comprehension of Tao insights is too terrifying. Mo Fengyan muttered to himself. He was looking forward to the great opportunity in the ethereal immortal realm even more. Concept of earth, meteor flash. The golden-armored man roared. 80 earth, Tao patterns instantly condensed and turned into a meteor that looked like a real meteor. With a long tail, it charged at Mo Fengyan, who was the greatest threat to him, with extreme speed. Beast soul form. Sensing that the meteor that was condensed from 80 earth Tao patterns was filled with fatal power, Mo Fengyan smelled the threat of death. Without any hesitation, he executed his final move and transformed into his strongest combat form. His strength instantly increased by several folds. 10 directions, Sky Devil Slash. Mo Fengyan, whose soul power was unrestrained, roared. The saber Tao pattern and the dark Tao pattern instantly fused into the Sky Blood Devil Saber. He slashed out the Destruction Cross Saber Slash and cleaved the Earth Meteor at close range. Kacha! Facing Mo Fengyan's strongest attack that contained 2 Tao wills, the Earthen Meteor attack was forcibly blocked. Terrifying energy halos surged in midair. Myriad transformations, Black Lotus. The moment the meteor was blocked, Mo Fengyan immediately spat out a slowly blooming Black Lotus and attacked the meteor with all his strength. Heavenly Treasure, Black Stone. Exploding Devil Saber. Gu Yu and Mo Qianli also attacked the meteor with all their strength. They wanted to gather everyone's strength and destroy it in one fell swoop. Brother Jian Chen, let's attack as well. Although Yi Qinfeng really wanted the golden-armored man to kill Mo Fengyan and get rid of this huge threat, he also knew that Mo Fengyan was a heavenly treasure. Mo Fengyan had great luck and was one step away from becoming a second-rank combat Beast Emperor, so the probability of him dying was extremely low. After some consideration, he decided to use all his strength to kill the golden-armored man and obtain the crucial heavenly crystal. Okay. Controlling the white snake seal to forcefully push back the crystal coffin, Jian Qin immediately appeared beside Yi Qinfeng and controlled the white snake seal to suppress the meteor. Vermilion bird cauldron attack. Yi Qinfeng spat out several mouthfuls of blood into the vermilion bird cauldron, activating the cauldron's offensive power and fiercely striking the meteor. Under the joint attack of the 3 cardinal treasures, Mo Fengyan, and the others, the earthen meteors formed by the 80 earth Tao patterns exploded one after another, revealing the heavily wounded golden-armored man. Roar! Roar! Taking advantage of the moment when the golden-armored man's defense was at its weakest, the Chaos Divine Beast once again released a powerful roar and fiercely bombarded the golden-armored man's body, causing fatal damage to his soul. Take his life while he's down. Everyone, attack with all your strength and completely destroy his soul. The golden-armored man covered his head with both hands and roared in pain. Mo Fengyan, who had expended a lot of energy, spared no expense to condense 30 dark Tao patterns and fiercely attacked the golden-armored man through the cracks in his body. Mo, Qianli, Guyu, and the others also attacked with all their strength. They used all their strength to attack the golden-armored man's soul and continuously aggravated his soul injury. You lowly people, die with me. The golden-armored man roared as his soul injury became more and more serious. He ignored his soul injury and crazily attacked Mo Fengyan and the others. The shocking destructive attacks made Yi Qinfeng and the others bear a huge pressure as they hovered on the edge of life and death. Everyone hold on. He is already an arrow at the end of its flight. As long as we withstand this round of fierce attacks, we will have a chance to destroy him. Mo Fengyan, whose scales were severely damaged after withstanding 60% of the golden-armored man's attacks, roared and continuously released shocking attacks that tore through the void and bombarded the golden-armored man. At this crucial moment, Yi Chen-fong and Jian Chen no longer held back. The vermilion bird soul and white snake seal fell one after another. The heavenly Tao was merciless, and the heavenly punishment sword struck continuously. Rumble. For a moment, the entire tomb space became distorted and chaotic. A small area of space collapsed, and the tomb's restrictions were shattered, causing the peerless kings of the Western continent to flee in panic. 10 directions, demonic slash. Just as the golden-armored man's high-grade heaven artifact battle armor was shattered by everyone's combined strength, Mo Fengyan used his ultimate move. The dark Tao intent and saber Tao intent crossed blade slashed into the golden-armored man's body. The terrifying dark Tao pattern and saber Tao pattern crazily devoured and strangled his soul, almost destroying it. Die. After suffering a fatal blow, the golden-armored man, whose soul was on the verge of collapse, used his final killing move. The heaven crystal on his forehead erupted with boundless energy and rapidly disintegrated his body. Not good. Quickly dodge. Feeling the sudden burst of destructive power from the golden-armored man's body, Mo Fengyan and the others' expression changed greatly as they all increased their speed to dodge. Boom! It was earth-shattering as the space was destroyed. The golden-armored man's body was torn apart as the terrifying destructive power swept out like a tide, causing the entire space to collapse. The entire tomb collapsed and became chaotic. Although Yi Chen-fong and the others had dodged in advance, they were still affected by the explosion of the golden-armored man and were sent flying. Among them, 3 of the weaker rank 6 defiant beast kings of the Western continent were blown apart by the golden-armored man's explosion. Not even their bones remained. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click bookmark at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 481. Brother Jian Chen, let's go get the treasure. When the storm of destruction gradually dispersed and the collapsed space slowly returned to normal, Yi Chen-fong and Jian Chen, who had forcefully stabilized their wounds, charged towards where the golden-armored man had blown himself up as quickly as they could to take the treasures he had left behind. The supreme grade heaven artifact is mine. I'll kill anyone who dares to touch it. The heavily injured Mo Fengyan roared like a furious lion as he chased after Yi Chen-fong and Jian Chen. He was determined to obtain the black spear. Brother Jian Chen, go collect the crystal coffin. Although the black spear was more valuable, with Mo Fengyan's personality, he would never allow anyone else to touch it. Yi Chen-fong did not want to engage in a direct conflict with him before the sword spirit puppet fused with the heaven crystal. As a result, he told Jian Chen to put away the crystal coffin that was as tough as a heaven treasure. All right. Jian Chen nodded. Inscriptions of the way of wind surged out of his body. Like a sharp gust of wind, he tore through the air and approached the crystal coffin buried in the ruins. Without the golden-armored man's control, the crystal coffin became an ownerless item. Jian Chen easily collected it into his universe ring. At this moment, Yi Chen-fong appeared in the collapsed pit. He released his powerful soul to search for the heaven crystal that was of utmost importance to him. Piss off! As Yi Chen-fong searched with his soul, Mo Fengyan arrived. A furious roar erupted from his mouth and bombarded Yi Chen-fong. Primal Chaos Roar! Facing Mo Fengyan's roar attack, the Primal Chaos Divine Beast immediately used a terrifying sound wave to block it. When the 2 surging tides collided together, a terrifying vortex was formed in the air, causing dense ripples to appear in the air. Found it. It's over there. Relying on his body that was comparable to a high-grade heaven artifact, Yi Chen-feng's powerful soul locked onto the location of the heaven crystal embedded in the golden-armored man's forehead. At this time, Mo Fengyan, who was full of hostility, had already rushed into the huge pit and collected the black spear that was buried in the thick rocks. Just as Mo Fengyan was satisfied with obtaining the black spear, a huge explosion rang out. Yi Qinfeng was like a sharp blade, breaking into the collapsed pit and finding the heaven crystal buried in the deepest part of the pit. And what is he looking for? When Mo Fengyan realized that Yi Qinfeng wasn't competing with him for the black spear, he revealed a look of surprise. He was now interested in the treasure that Yi Qinfeng was searching for. He's looking for that crystal. When Yi Qinfeng put the sky crystal into the yin-yang ring, Mo Fengyan's powerful soul immediately sensed it. However, he didn't know about the existence of the sword puppet or the value of the sky crystal, so he didn't take it to heart. Just as Yi Qinfeng and Mo Fengyan both obtained what they wanted, Jian Chen and Mo Qianli clashed intensely with Guyu. They began fighting in the air. "Hand over the crystal coffin, or I'll kill you." The master of the Dark Night Pavilion, Guyu, who was wearing a black martial arts robe and exuded a mature charm, coldly ordered Jian Chen, "You want the crystal coffin? Let's see if you have the ability," Jian Chen said arrogantly. He did not show any fear at all from facing 2 half-step beast emperors alone. "You're courting death." Guyu's charming eyes were filled with killing intent. The celestial black stone pierced through his chest at an extremely fast speed. "White snake seal." Jian Chen immediately controlled the white serpent seal to block the shockingly destructive black rock. The moment the 2 heavenly treasures collided, Mo Qianli made his move. He condensed a terrifying blood demon seal and smashed it towards Jian Chen. "Heavenly punishment sword." Sensing that the blood demon seal had completely locked onto him, 30 sword runes gushed out and merged into the killing sword of calamity. A sword of light filled with the power of heavenly punishment forcefully blocked the blood demon seal. Gu Ying's assassination. 2 Dao intents surged out of Guyu's body. Taking advantage of the moment Jian Chen blocked the blood demon seal, Guyu used her ultimate move. A strange shadow split from her mature body and turned into a ray of assassination light, stabbing towards Jian Chen's chest. Wind Dao intent. At the critical moment, the wind Dao pattern surged out of Jian Chen's body and instantly increased his speed. In an extremely short amount of time, he continuously turned around and dodged Guyu's ultimate move. Die. The moment Jian Chen dodged Gu Ying's attack, Mo Qianli seized the opportunity and slashed down with an extremely destructive crimson blade of light. The blade landed on Jian Chen's body and knocked him to the ground, leaving a deep cut on his body. Vermilion bird cauldron. Yi Qinfeng saw that Jian Chen was in danger and quickly flew out of the pit. He controlled the vermilion bird cauldron to crash into Guyu and Mo Qianli. The powerful impact forcefully interrupted their continuous attacks. In the next moment, Yi Qinfeng ignited his golden rock bloodline and raised his speed to the limit. In a flash, he appeared beside Jian Chen. Extreme ancient heavenly lightning, black heavenly fire, and extreme ancient heavenly water surged out of his body and turned into a tricolored ball of energy. Like a meteor, it shot towards Mo Qianli and Guyu. Boom! The sky shook and the space shook. The wrath of divine punishment exploded, creating a destructive force that swept through the world and swallowed all the light in the surroundings. It was as if the world had collapsed and destroyed the two's ferocious attacks. 7 swords of judgment, eclipse. Yi Qinfeng's deep eyes pierced through the destructive storm and locked onto Mo Qianli, who was the closest to him. Sword Dao pattern, thunder Dao pattern, the power of slaughter fused into the monarch armament. A rising sword of eclipse slashed through the storm, leaving behind a glaring red light in the air as it slashed towards Mo Qianli. Exploding demonic saber. Mo Qianli unleashed his Dao of saber when he sensed the killing intent from the sword of eclipse. A black demonic saber filled with explosive power descended from the sky and struck the sword of eclipse. the saber and sword collided and the power of concept erupted. A large number of sword and saber fragments surged in the air, cutting through the space. Stop! All of you, stop! Just as Yi Qinfeng was controlling the vermilion bird cauldron to continue attacking, Mo Fengyun appeared beside Mo Qianli in a flash and ordered loudly. Sect Master Mo, you've broken the rules again and again. Do you think you're done for? Yi Qinfeng looked at Mo Fengyun and questioned him without holding back. You don't need to threaten me. In this dangerous, ethereal, immortal realm, only by working together can we have a chance of obtaining the great, fortuitous encounter here. A barely detectable killing intent flashed through Mo Fengyun's eyes as he spoke coldly. After obtaining the supreme Grade Heaven artifact spear, his attack power had greatly increased. He was completely confident that he could instantly kill Yi Qinfeng and Mo Fengyun. However, he still needed Yi Qinfeng and his guidance, so he decided to let Yi Qinfeng and Mo Fengyun live for a while longer. Once they were no longer of any use, he would kill them. If you break the promise again, I'd rather not have the fortuitous encounter in the ethereal immortal realm. Brother Jianchen, let's go. When Yi Qinfeng saw the murderous intent in Mo Fengyun's eyes, his face darkened as he warned coldly. However, before the sword puppet completely fused with the heaven crystal, he didn't want to fall out with Mo Fengyun. He coldly glanced at Mo Fengyun and the others before flying towards the end of the corpse mound with a slightly pale face. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 482. The night was like water, and the stars were shining brightly. A strange crescent moon was hanging under the starry night sky, emitting bright moonlight, mysterious and enchanting. I never thought that there would be night in the ethereal paradise. It seems like the time here is different from the outside world. Looking at the demonic moon above their heads, Yi Qinfeng and the rest did not take the risk to advance. They quickly hid in a dark forest to rest and adjust their condition. 100 crystals, primeval, chaos diagram. In order to prevent the fusion of the sword puppet and the heaven crystal from being discovered by Fengyun and the rest, Yi Qinfeng took out the 100 crystals, primeval, chaos diagram and enveloped himself. He sealed the space and summoned the sword puppet. Fusion of the heaven crystal. Yi Qinfeng took out the cracked heaven crystal and fused it with the sword puppet's body. In the next moment, a powerful aura was released from the sword puppet's body, causing the 100 crystals' primeval chaos diagram to tremble slightly. Peak of rank 2 combat beast emperor. Feeling the sword puppet's strength increase after fusing with the heaven crystal, Yi Qinfeng revealed a faint smile. With the sword puppet's indestructible body and its strength at the peak of rank 2 combat beast emperor, it could completely control everything. Yi Qinfeng finally had the ability to fight against Fengyun. After the sword puppet's strength increased, Yi Qinfeng took out the sky treasure serpent spear from the vermilion bird cauldron. He quickly dripped his blood on it and refined it. The night in the misty, immortal realm was very short. After about 6 hours, the night had passed. The sun, which was emitting an earthen yellow light, slowly rose into the sky. Let's go. We will continue forward. I estimate that we will be able to fly out of this corpse mound in half a day's time. Yi Qinfeng secretly buried the universe ring with the sword puppet and the space devourer bug under the ground. He then put away the 100 crystals primeval chaos diagram and summoned the golden rock wings to fly towards the end of the corpse mound. Indeed, it was as Yi Qinfeng said. In less than half a day, the group arrived at the end of the burial mound. Above the densely packed graves, they saw a barrier of light that stretched to the sky. All of you step back. I'm going to test the power of that light barrier. Mo Fengyun walked to the light screen with a supreme grade heaven tier spear in his hand. A powerful aura was emitted from his body. "Drink!" As Mo Feng roared, the golden-eyed fiendish python emerged from his body. Two great wills of the great path merged into the black spear, activating the multiplying attack array patterns on the black spear. A sharp spear light tore through the space like a roaring dragon and bombarded the light screen restriction. Kachacha! Facing Mo Fengyun's full-powered spear attack, the huge light screen suddenly distorted. Tens of thousands of attack runes emerged, forming the power of distortion, neutralizing the terrifying spear power. "Break!" Feeling the heavy pressure from the black spear, Mo Fengyun roared and burned the bloodline of his spiritual beast, which instantly increased his attack power. The terrifying spear power tore apart the twisted array patterns in the light curtain and tore a gap in the light curtain's restriction. What a terrifying attack power! This Mo Fengyun has a supreme grade, heaven-tier artifact. His attack power is probably enough to kill an ordinary Class 2 combat beast emperor. Seeing Mo Fengyun tear apart the light screen restriction with his own eyes, Yi Qinfeng couldn't help but be shocked by his current attack power. He had no doubt that as long as Mo Fengyun was given the chance, he would definitely be able to kill him in one shot. As expected of a supreme grade heaven-tier artifact, Sect Master's attack power has increased by at least 10 times. Seeing the attack power of Mo Fengyun's black spear, Mo Qianli and the other experts of the West Devil Sect were pleasantly surprised. They looked at Yi Qinfeng and Mo Fengyun with ridicule. It was as if their lives were already in Mo Fengyun's hands. "Great Elder, Second Elder, Third Elder, House Master Gu, Family Head You, and 2 Array Masters. The 7 of you will follow me into the ethereal immortal realm. The rest of you will stay in the corpse mound to look for opportunities or wait for us outside," Mo Fengyun said loudly as he tore apart the light screen restriction with his black spear. In the battle with the golden armored man, 6 Class 6 Defiant Beast Kings had died. It had greatly damaged the West Devil Sect's foundation, so Mo Fengyun didn't dare to continue taking risks. Once more Defiant Beast Kings died in the ethereal immortal realm, it would be a nightmare for the West Devil Sect. It would directly shake their foundation and affect their future plans. "All right." Mo Qianli and the others nodded. They quickly passed through the gap in the restriction and left the oppressive corpse mound, entering the depths of the ethereal immortal realm. "Do you two want to come?" Mo Fengyun intentionally asked as he looked at Yi Qinfeng and Jian Qin deeply. "Of course." Seeing the killing intent hidden in Mo Fengyun's eyes, Yi Qinfeng was not afraid at all and said without any hesitation. With that, Yi Qinfeng and Jian Qin flew through the gap in the formation and disappeared from the tomb. They entered a spacious space and discovered a dilapidated stone stele with mysterious golden words written on it. It gave off an ancient feeling. "Brat, where is this place, and what is the origin of the stone stele?" Mo Fengyun slowly walked to Yi Qinfeng's side and questioned him in a low voice as he looked at the unfamiliar space before him and felt the pressure coming from the stone tablet. "I don't know," Yi Qinfeng coldly replied. But this time, Yi Qinfeng didn't lie to Mo Fengyun. He really didn't know the truth of this space. This was because this place was already inside the ethereal immortal realm. It was outside of the map that Shui Piao had given him. Here, he could only rely on himself. "Brat, I advise you to cooperate with us. This is good for both you and me. Otherwise, it won't be good if something unexpected happens." Mo Fengyun didn't believe Yi Qinfeng's words and coldly said. His voice was filled with a threatening tone. "I said I don't know, so I don't know. It's up to you to believe it or not," Yi Qinfeng retorted without holding back. Mo Fengyun was so angry that his face turned gloomy. The muscles at the corner of his eyes twitched. He couldn't wait to kill Yi Qinfeng to vent his anger. After speaking, Yi Qinfeng controlled the power of the God-Eater brain and radiated it into the stone stele to sense the stone stele. Buzz! 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 Sensing the power of the God-Eater brain, the stone steel suddenly became restless. More than 20 golden words turned into golden Tao patterns and appeared on the surface of the stone steel. They formed a whirlwind and blocked the power of the God-Eater brain from penetrating. In the next moment, a piercing bird cry rang out. A huge bird that was emitting golden light and had golden crown-like feathers on its head suddenly appeared. Its eyes were as sharp as lightning, and its wingspan was more than 10 meters. It stirred up a fierce hurricane and flew towards them. This aura, this appearance. Not good. This is a grade 7 heavenly beast, golden crowned sky eagle. Retreat quickly. Looking at the huge golden bird flying towards them, Mo Fingyun's face changed. He immediately recognized that this huge bird was the king of the eagle-type heavenly beasts, the golden-crowned sky eagle with the bloodline of a saint beast. Furthermore, it was a grade 7 heavenly beast, comparable to a combat beast emperor expert. It was a death threat to all of them. Besides the terrifying grade of the golden-crowned sky eagle, Yi Qinfeng's sharp senses also sensed a power within the golden-crowned sky eagle that caused his heart to palpitate. He had a feeling that if this power struck his body, even if he had a body comparable to a high-tier heavenly artifact, he would still be killed by it. What kind of treasure is in this golden-crowned sky eagle's body? Yi Qinfeng was extremely interested in the mysterious treasure in the golden-crowned sky eagle's body. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 483. Screech. Gusts of wind blew out from the eagle's wings, sweeping towards Yi Qinfeng and the others. The wind was so strong that Yi Qinfeng and the others lost control of their bodies and were forced to retreat. Black Wheel of Death. At the crucial moment, Mo Fengyin, who was enduring the impact of the wind, made his move. Dozens of wheels filled with the power of death shot out from his body and attacked the eagle at an extremely fast speed. Facing the attack of the Black Wheel of Death, the eagle was not afraid at all. Its huge wings flapped violently, and with a force of millions of pounds, it directly shattered the incoming Black Wheel of Death. Brother Jianqin, if I'm not wrong, this golden stone tablet should contain the Wind Dao intent, and you are the only one among us who has comprehended the Wind Dao intent. Perhaps you have a chance to obtain the fortune in this stone tablet. Yi Qinfeng transmitted his voice to Jianqin as Mo Fengyin and the eagle fought intensely. All right, I'll give it a try. Jianqin had also sensed the truth of the stone tablet. He silently circulated the Wind Dao intent and tried to fuse it with the whirlwind formed by the Wind Dao pattern around the stone tablet. When Jianqin's Wind Dao pattern fused with the Dao pattern in the stone tablet, a phenomenon appeared. Jianqin could clearly feel a powerful suction force surging out from the stone tablet, firmly sucking his body into the stone tablet and mysteriously disappearing. As expected, Jianqin is fated with this stone tablet. Seeing the scene of Jianqin being sucked into the stone tablet, Yi Qinfeng was not worried. He guessed that the stone tablet was similar to the stone tablets in the true spirit secret realm. There was a spatial pocket hidden within, and as long as Jianqin could pass the test of the stone tablet, he would be able to obtain the fortune in the stone tablet. Mo Fengyin, who had just transformed into his beast soul form and was fighting with the eagle in the air, unexpectedly discovered that Jianqin had entered the stone tablet. He revealed a furious expression. In his opinion, the stone tablet definitely contained a great fortune, but now this fortune might have been obtained by Jianqin first. This made him extremely furious and annoyed. While he was distracted, the golden-crowned heavenly eagle opened its sharp beak, and a ray of gray light shot out from its beak. It was like a bolt of lightning, and it bombarded Mo Fengyin at close range. Not good. Facing the gray light attack from the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle, Mo Fengyan smelled a strong sense of danger. All the hair on his body stood up, and he decisively thrust out his black spear to meet the attack. Buzz! When his spear struck the gray light, the hard tip of the spear trembled. A powerful vibration passed through the spear and into his arm, causing his arm to tremble. A large number of snake scales cracked, and his body was knocked back several meters. What a strong power! What kind of treasure is hidden in this golden crown, Heavenly Eagle's body? After witnessing the scene of Mo Fengyan being injured by the gray light, Yi Qinfeng's eyebrows twitched slightly. He guessed in his heart, could it be that there's a Tao artifact inside its body? What are you all standing there for? Hurry up and help me kill this golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle. After experiencing the terrifying attack power of the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle, Mo Fengyan, whose arm was severely numb, shouted at Yi Qinfeng, Mo Qianli, and the others. However, in response to Mo Fengyan's shout, Yi Qinfeng stood where he was without any intention of helping. As for Mo Qianli and the others, they had no choice but to take the risk and attack the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle. Brat, don't tell me you want to reap the benefits without doing anything? Seeing Yi Qinfeng's indifference, Mo Fengyan gritted his teeth angrily and roared at him. Sect Master Mo, please forgive me. My strength is too weak, so I can't help much. It's better for me to watch from the side. If I accidentally lose my life, the losses would outweigh the gains. Yi Qinfeng said indifferently. He directly sat on the ground and watched the battle, causing Mo Fengyan to tremble and his face to turn green. Screech! Just as Mo Fengyan was about to vomit blood because of Yi Qinfeng, the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle continued its attack. Its huge body turned into a ray of golden light and charged at Mo Qianli and the others. Heavenly treasure, Blackstone. Heavenly treasure, Yu. As the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle attacked, the Dark Shadow Pavilion Master Guyu and the Yu clan's patriarch Yu Hong both controlled their heavenly treasures to meet it head-on. They wanted to borrow the power of their heavenly treasures to force the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle back. The two heavenly treasures carried an astonishing destructive power as they attacked. The golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle immediately opened its sharp beak and spat out 2 rays of gray light, hitting the 2 heavenly treasures. Under the attack of the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle, the 2 heavenly treasures trembled violently and were sent flying, exposing Guyu and Yu Hong to the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle. Their lives were in danger. Great devil slaying dragon blade. Guyu and Yu Hong were extremely important to the West Devil sect. Seeing that they were in danger, Mo Qianli and the others did not hesitate to use the great demon slaying dragon slash. 3 demonic dragons that were close to 5 meters long slashed at the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle's huge body, forcefully delaying its attack. At this moment, the extremely fast Mo Fengyan had also caught up. A pitch-black spear light shot out like a wild snake and enveloped the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle, forcefully piercing through its body. Screech! Its body was constantly pierced by the black spear light, which completely enraged the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle. It flapped its golden wings to block the attacks, while spitting out rays of gray light to attack Mo Fengyan, who was the greatest threat to it. Han Dun! Can you sense the gray light that the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle spat out? Is there a Tao artifact or Tao treasure hidden within the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle? Seeing that the gray light completely countered Mo Fengyan's attack, Yi Qinfeng immediately transmitted a message to the Chaos Divine Beast that had inherited memories. A Tao artifact or Tao treasure's power is extremely terrifying. If that golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle had a Tao artifact or Tao treasure, it would definitely be able to insta-kill all of you. If it's not a Tao artifact or Tao treasure, then what kind of treasure is releasing that gray light? Yi Qinfeng frowned and continued to ask, if my feeling is not wrong, that golden-crowned heavenly eagle's body should be a Tao artifact or Tao treasure fragment. The chaos divine beast pondered for a moment and said, "A Tao artifact or Tao treasure fragment's power is so great that it surpasses a pseudo-Tao treasure." Yi Qinfeng asked in shock. Of course, there is still a huge gap between a pseudo-Tao treasure and a Tao treasure fragment. As for a Tao artifact or Tao treasure fragment that is a part of a Tao artifact or Tao treasure, if it's a core part with the golden-crowned heavenly eagle's demon core controlling it, its power would definitely surpass a pseudo-Tao treasure. Boss, the Tao artifact or Tao treasure fragment in that golden-crowned heavenly eagle's body is very important to you. If the vermilion bird spirit can refine it and merge it into the cauldron, it will greatly increase the vermilion bird cauldron's power. As for that golden-crowned heavenly eagle's demon core, it is also very important to me. If I can obtain it and completely absorb it, my power will also greatly increase. All right, I'll try my best. Hearing the chaos divine beast's words, Yi Qinfeng was extremely interested in the treasures within the golden-crowned heavenly eagle's body. He decided to do whatever it took to obtain them. At this time, Mo Fengyun and the others' battle with the golden-crowned heavenly eagle had reached its climax. Ferocious attacks swept through the entire space. Just as the golden-crowned heavenly eagle was heavily injured by the dark shadow pavilion master Guyu, Mo Fengyun finally found an opportunity. His entire body merged with his black spear, and his spear tore apart the softest part of the golden-crowned heavenly eagle's abdomen. Large amounts of blood spurted out like a fountain, dyeing the ground red. "Screech, you lowly humans, go to hell." Despite being heavily injured, the golden-crowned heavenly eagle suddenly spoke in human language. A multi-edged, dark gray metal plate covered in ancient patterns appeared on its body. It released an astonishing power, neutralizing the attacks of Mo Qianli and the others and forcing Mo Fengyun to retreat. Looking at the gray metal plate and feeling its power surpassing that of a supreme-grade heaven artifact, Mo Fengyun's eyes burned with passion. He did not hesitate to ignite his spiritual beast's bloodline to increase his strength. He was prepared to kill the golden-crowned heavenly eagle in one go and obtain this mysterious metal plate. Mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click Collect at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 484. Tao Treasure Fragment. It is really a Tao treasure fragment. Furthermore, it seems to be the Tao treasure fragment at the center. The chaos divine beast sensed the gray metal fragment and screamed in excitement. This Tao treasure fragment must be obtained. Yi Qinfeng decided in his heart. Screech. The severely injured golden crown, heavenly eagle, summoned the Tao treasure fragment and immediately spat out several mouthfuls of blood essence into the Tao treasure fragment. It then activated the demon core to control the Tao treasure fragment to attack. Under the golden crown heavenly eagle's full power, the Tao treasure fragment emitted a large amount of gray light that pierced through the space and attacked Mo Fengyun, who posed the greatest threat to it. Tao of Darkness Spear. As the Tao treasure fragment was approaching, Mo Fengyun, whose strength had nearly reached the limit, roared. The gold-eyes fiend python's image appeared on his body. The Tao of Darkness frenziedly fused into the black long spear. It was like a black flood dragon that pierced into the Tao treasure fragment. When the two attacks collided, there was an explosion of astonishing power that formed an oval shape in the air and bombarded Mo Fengyun and the golden crown, heavenly eagle. The black scales on Mo Fengyun's arm were instantly crushed by the destructive power, revealing his bloody arm while his body was also sent flying. Meanwhile, the golden crown heavenly eagle's injuries worsened again. Large amounts of golden feathers were crushed and large amounts of blood flowed out uncontrollably. Heavenly artifact, black stone. Heavenly Artifact, Serene Jade. When Mo Fengyun and the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle were both heavily injured, Guyu and Mo Fengyun controlled their respective heavenly artifacts to attack. They pierced through the destructive storm and bombarded the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle's body with extreme speed. Once again, they created 2 bloody holes on its huge body. Blood Skeleton, crush its wings. When the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle was attacked by 2 heavenly artifacts, Mo Fengyun took out the heavenly artifact Blood Skeleton and spat out several mouthfuls of blood essence at the Blood Skeleton. He activated the Blood Skeleton's strongest attack and bit the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle's wing, forcibly tearing a bloody wound. Take its life while it is weak. The Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle's wings were bitten off by the Blood Skeletons, causing it to lose control of its huge body. Seizing this rare opportunity, Mo Fengyun and the others joined forces and attacked the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle's huge body, forcefully shattering its injured wings. After losing its left wing, the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle let out a sorrowful howl. Its huge body fell heavily to the ground, creating a large hole in the hard ground. 10 Directions, Demonic Slash. Great Demon, Slaying Dragon Blade. Gu-ing Assassination. Mo Fengyun and the others were extremely experienced in battle. They did not give the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle any chance to counterattack by controlling the fragments. They all unleashed their powerful Dao techniques to attack its heavily injured body, killing it with brute force. Boss, I'll be right there. At the instant the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle died, Yi Qinfeng made his move. The golden rock bloodline in his veins ignited as the golden rock wings and soul wings appeared on his body. With extreme speed, he dashed towards the bloody corpse of the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle, wanting to seize the Dao treasure fragment and the Heavenly Eagle's demonic core. Courting death. When Mo Fengyun saw that Yi Qinfeng not only did not put in any effort, but also dared to snatch the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle's belongings before it died, he was completely enraged. A black spear light shot out, entwined with the dark Dao pattern and the saber Dao pattern. The spear pierced towards Yi Qinfeng's chest. Vermilion Bird Cauldron. Mo Fengyun, who possessed a supreme-grade heaven artifact, was too terrifying. He had the strength to kill Yi Qinfeng instantly, before the black spear light could get close. Yi Qinfeng controlled the pseudo-Dao treasure Vermilion Bird Cauldron to receive it. Buzz! There was an ear-piercing sound. The Vermilion Bird Cauldron was attacked by the black spear light and shook violently. 2 breaths later, the Vermilion Bird Cauldron was sent flying by Mo Fengyun's spear. It lost control and smashed into the distance. After sending the Vermilion Bird Cauldron flying, the enraged Mo Fengyun continued to attack. The sharp spear light completely shrouded Yi Qinfeng, forcing Yi Qinfeng to execute the wind riding technique and dodge with all his might. Primordial Chaos Roar. When his life was in danger, a deafening roar gushed out from Yi Qinfeng's chest. It was like a heavy hammer, ruthlessly smashing towards Mo Fengyun. Blood Devil Seal. Facing the sound wave attack released by the Chaos Divine Beast, Mo Fengyun did not dodge. He formed the Blood Devil Seal and received it head-on. With one seal, he shattered the primordial Chaos Roar. However, in the battle with the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle, Mo Fengyun was also severely injured. Facing the powerful sound wave released by the Chaos Divine Beast had aggravated his injuries. The qi and blood in his body were also surging violently. Mo Fengyun, I only want the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle's corpse. Give it to me, and we will continue to cooperate. I will bring you to the core of the ethereal immortal realm and fight for the greatest opportunity here. When Mo Fengyun's attack was delayed, Yi Qinfeng shouted out loudly. Hearing Yi Qinfeng's condition, Mo Fengyun did not bother. He continued to attack Yi Qinfeng, wanting to teach him a lesson. Mo Fengyun, if you don't stop, I will leave this place immediately. Don't regret it. I hate it the most when people threaten me. Brat, you have angered my reverse scale. I will definitely kill you. Mo Fingyun's killing intent surged. The Tao of darkness and Tao of saber intertwined and enveloped Yi Qinfeng. Fine, you forced me to do this. A sharp glint appeared in Yi Qinfeng's eyes as he controlled the vermilion bird cauldron to block Mo Fingyun's full-powered attack. He suddenly charged toward Fu Manshan and Ho Fenghai, who were dodging far away. The two of you dodged quickly. Seeing Yi Qinfeng's action, Mo Fingyun's expression changed slightly. He shouted at Demon Sealing Mountain and Ho Fenghai. Primordial Chaos Roar. Without waiting for the two array masters to dodge, the Chaos Divine Beast continued to release powerful sound waves towards them. The thunderous roar exploded in their ears, causing their souls to tremble and their minds to go blank. Stop! Fu Manshan and Ho Fenghai were extremely important to Mo Fengyun. Seeing that their lives were in danger, Mo Fengyun panicked and roared at Yi Qinfeng. Too late! Flying Immortal Sword. Heavenly Treasure, Snake Spear. Yi Qinfeng used his powerful trump card and used the Flying Immortal Sword to attack Fu Manshan. At the same time, he took out the Heavenly Treasure Snake Spear and attacked Ho Fenghai. Bang! Bang! Fu Manshan and Ho Fenghai's defenses were broken. Their bodies were directly penetrated by the Flying Immortal Sword and Snake Spear. They cried out in pain and fell into a pool of blood. Roar! The Chaos Divine Beast continued to release sound waves and ruthlessly bombarded their heavily injured bodies. They were on the verge of death and were struggling in pain. Brat, I will definitely kill you today. Seeing that the array masters that he had spent a lot of money to hire were killed by Yi Qinfeng, Mo Fengyun went crazy. He let out an uncontrollable roar and decided to heavily injure Yi Qinfeng. He wanted to forcefully search his soul, just as Mo Fengyun, who was filled with killing intent, launched a fierce attack towards Yi Qinfeng. An ear-piercing sound suddenly rang out. An extremely fast shadow streaked across the sky and flew towards Mo Qianli, who had just dug out the golden-crowned sky eagle's beast core. It wanted to forcefully snatch the beast core from his hands. Returning from a trip, I'm a little tired. I'll update a chapter first and post it as soon as I'm done. Also, from next Monday onwards, I'll guarantee a weekly read packet of at least $300. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this reading. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 485. Not good. Seeing the black-robed man suddenly appear and sensing the dangerous aura coming from his body, Mo Qianli and the others' expressions changed. They all used powerful Dao skills, wanting to force him back. Faced with the ferocious attacks launched by Mo Qianli and the others, the man in black did not dodge. Instead, he rushed forward and used his body to withstand the terrifying Dao skills, appearing in front of the shocked Mo Qianli. What kind of body is this? Seeing the black-robed man using his body to withstand the Dao skills while remaining unscathed, Mo Qianli and the others' eyeballs nearly fell out of their sockets. Their hearts were in turmoil. Boom! While Mo Qianli was still in shock, the black-robed man sent a palm strike towards his chest, bringing along a powerful chi wave. Great devil slaying dragon blade! Feeling the terror of the black-robed man's palm, Mo Qianli calmed his shocked mind. Holding a mid-grade heaven artifact, he slashed out a demonic, dragon-like saber light, ruthlessly chopping at the palm light coming from the distorted space. Kacha! When the saber and palm collided, the great devil slaying dragon blade violently trembled and shattered like glass. After shattering Mo Qianli's Dao skill, the palm strike filled with destructive power easily broke through Mo Qianli's defenses and ruthlessly struck his chest. Uft! A large amount of blood sprayed out of Mo. Qianli's mouth. His sternum had completely caved in from the palm strike. He was like a kite with its string cut as he flew back. As for the golden crown Heavenly Eagle's demon core he had just dug out, it was also snatched away by the black-robed man. "Who are you?" Mo Fengyin, who was chasing Yi Qinfeng with all his might, was also stunned by this sudden scene. He had never imagined that there would be someone in this space, and a peak expert that even he felt apprehensive about. And this black-robed man who had suddenly appeared was none other than Yi Qinfeng's final trump card. After fusing with the Heaven Crystal, the sword puppet had temporarily become a peak second-rank combat beast emperor. The sword puppet didn't pay attention to Mo Fengyun's question. Its body flashed, and it launched an attack at the Western Devil Sect's second elder. It wanted to forcibly kill him and take away the Tao treasure fragment he had put into his spatial ring, courting death. When Mo Fengyin saw that the sword puppet had snatched away the golden crown Heavenly Eagle's Yao Dan, and even dared to snatch the more precious Tao treasure fragment, he was immediately enraged. He gave up on chasing after Yi Qinfeng and attacked the sword puppet with his black spear. The sword puppet, whose defense was close to invincible, sensed the demon wind and cloud coming at him at an extremely fast speed. He didn't pay any attention to it at all. Streaks of sword rays with astonishing offensive power split out from his body and attacked the second elder of the West Demon Sect. Blood escape. After seeing the sword puppet heavily injure Mo Qianli with one strike, the second elder of the West Devil Sect didn't dare to face his ferocious attacks head-on. He decisively burned his blood qi and used blood escape to dodge the incoming sword lights. The second elder of the West Demon Sect was extremely fast when he used blood escape. The sword puppet, who had become a level 2 beast emperor for a short period of time, reacted even faster. Its body flashed slightly, and it took the initiative to block the second elder's escape route. "Go to hell, Tao of Darkness Spear!" Just as the second elder of the West Demon Sect was in danger, Mo Fengyin pierced out with a spear. The dark Tao pattern and the blade Tao pattern revolved around the tip of the black spear. It pierced the sword puppet, who didn't dodge at all. The instant the sword puppet was pierced by the Tao of Darkness spear, it also launched a sure-kill attack at the second elder, who had turned pale with fright. 6 extremely sharp sword lights split out from his body like a crescent moon in the sky. They sealed off all his escape routes and ruthlessly slashed at his body. PFFF! The second elder, who couldn't dodge, had his defense broken. His entire body was pierced through by the 6 sword lights and turned into countless pieces of flesh in midair. He died on the spot. What? Seeing the second elder being killed right before his eyes, Mo Fengyin, who was burning with rage, increased his strength. He wanted to pierce the sword puppet's body with his spear and end his life. However, when his spear pierced the sword puppet, it felt like he was piercing black iron. Not only did the spear not injure the sword puppet's body, but the black spear also sent out a huge rebounding force, which caused his arm to go numb. Retrieve! Relying on its indestructible body to withstand Mo Fengyun's Tao of Darkness spear, the sword puppet immediately took the second elder's belongings, the universe ring containing the Tao treasure shards. Its body flashed and was about to break out. "Where are you going?" Mo Fengyin suppressed a shock and shouted as he forcefully intercepted the sword puppet. He would never allow the 2 supreme treasures he obtained from killing the golden crown Heavenly Eagle to be snatched away right under his nose by someone else. "Manor Lord Gu, Clan Headyu, quickly help me kill this person." Mo Fengyin ignored his injuries and used all his strength to stop the sword puppet. He immediately transmitted a message to Gu Yu and Yu Hong. Although the sword puppet's strength and defense shocked the 2 of them, they were in the same boat as Mo Fengyin. They were bound together for good or ill. They could only control their celestial treasures and risk attacking the sword puppet. Just as Mo Fengyun and the other two were attacking the sword spirit puppets with all their might, Yi Qianfeng suddenly flew to the side of the Golden Crown, Heavenly Eagle's huge corpse. Controlling a universe ring with a huge capacity, he stored the corpse into the ring. Die. After storing the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle's corpse, Yi Qianfeng suddenly attacked the heavily injured Mo Qianli. He wanted to take this opportunity to kill him and prevent future troubles. Not good. The West Demon Sect's third elder saw that Mo Qianli was in danger and did not hesitate to block in front of him. Dozens of black wheels of death split out of his body and blocked Yi Qianfeng's attack. Blood escape. Taking advantage of the third elder's block, the heavily injured Mo Qianli decisively used blood escape and turned into a bloody light to escape. Since I can't kill him, I'll start with you. After Mo Qianli escaped, Yi Qianfeng immediately launched a fierce attack at the rank 6 Defiant Beast King Third Elder. Dragon Bloodline Ignite. Vermilion Gene of Strength Erupt. Slaughter Halo, Slaughter Power Release. In order to end the battle quickly, Yi Qianfeng continuously used his trump cards. A slowly rising eclipse sword split out of his body and shot towards the sky. The terrifying attack power made the third elder feel suffocated. Just as the third elder was using all his strength to block Yi Qianfeng's eclipse sword attack, the Chaos Divine Beast let out a world-shaking roar and ruthlessly attacked the third elder's body. PFFF. The sudden sneak attack of the Chaos Divine Beast caused the third elder's body and soul to tremble at the same time. Large amounts of blood flowed out of his 7 orifices, and his reaction became slightly slower. And this slight delay was enough to be fatal. The sword of Eclipse came crashing down like a scorching red sun. It struck the third elder's body, breaking through his defenses and cleaving him in half from top to bottom. Third elder, brat, I will definitely kill you. When he saw the third elder being forcefully killed by Yi Qianfeng, Mo Fengyun's lungs were about to explode from anger. His surging anger was like a volcano erupting from his chest. Not even in his wildest dreams did he imagine that such an unforeseen event would happen. The second elder and third elder, 2 formation grandmasters, had died one after another. The Western Devil Sect had suffered an unbearable blow. Furthermore, he had a feeling that this mysterious expert that suddenly appeared was most likely related to Yi Qianfeng. His group had been schemed against. It's still not certain who will die. Mo Fengyun and the rest were heavily injured after killing the Golden Crown Heavenly Eagle. Now was the best time to kill them. After obtaining the 2 most important treasures, Yi Qianfeng made a prompt decision and ordered the sword puppet to counterattack. He was prepared to kill Mo Fengyun and the rest while they were heavily injured to prevent future troubles. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the bookmark button below to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 486. Buzz. Boundless energy surged out of the sword puppet's body, forming a huge white sword shadow above its head. The unparalleled sharpness cut through space as if it wanted to split the sky apart. Die. The sword spirit puppet let out a low roar that sounded like muffled thunder. The white sword shadow slashed down fiercely towards Mo Fengyun with suffocating power. Tao of Darkness Spear! Sensing that the white sword shadow had completely enveloped him, Mo Fengyun immediately raised his black spear to meet it. The spear light that was filled with 2 great Tao intents pierced the white sword shadow. The surging power caused the surrounding space to distort as the sword shadow and spear light clashed intensely. After the first strike, the sword puppet, which was burning a large amount of the heaven crystal's energy, continued to attack. Waves of sword shadows swept across the sky like a tidal wave towards Mo Fengyan. The powerful attacks forced the severely injured Mo Fengyan to retreat continuously. The black scales that covered his body were constantly damaged as his blood boiled violently. Chaos Divine Beasts, let's take one each. Let's end this quickly. While the sword puppet was forcefully suppressing Mo Fengyan's attacks, Yi Qinfeng summoned the Chaos Divine Beasts to attack Gu Yu and Yu Hong together. The half-step Emperor realm Mo Qianli was also severely injured and hid far away. He did not dare to get close to Yi Qinfeng and the others in case he was caught in the crossfire and killed. Damn, this person is indeed your partner. Mo Fengyan, who was attacking with all his might, saw that Yi Qinfeng did not escape and instead summoned the Chaos Divine Beasts to attack Gu Yu and Yu Hong. He was completely sure that the sword puppet was his partner. He was so angry that his face turned black as he let out an uncontrollable roar. The moment Mo Fengyan was distracted, the sword puppet immediately seized the opportunity and blasted out a shocking fistlight that wanted to shatter the sky, aiming for Mo Fengyan's chest. Blood Devil Seal. As the shocking fistlight approached, Mo Fengyan quickly formed a seal with both hands, forming the Blood Devil Seal to counter it. Kacha! The Blood Devil Seal and the shocking fistlight collided. The Scarlet Blood Devil Seal immediately shattered, unable to block the sword puppet's fist. Blood Skeleton. In that moment of crisis, Devil Fengyan summoned the Blood Skeleton, which flew out of his body and collided with the sword spirit puppet's fist, blocking it. But before Mo Fengyan had a chance to catch his breath, the sword puppet continued to attack. Its ferocious attacks continued to suppress him and worsen his injuries. The destructive power of their battle was too terrifying. For a moment, the entire space was filled with sand and stones, and the world was dark. The terrifying sword shadow and spear light interweaved together, forming a destructive storm that engulfed the two. In the storm, they did not slow down their attacks and continued to fiercely attack each other. When the battle between the sword puppet and Mo Fengyan reached its climax, Yi Qinfeng and the Chaos Divine Beast worked together to suppress Gu Yu and Yu Hong's attacks. Vermilion Bird Cauldron, Serpent Spear, Ambush. Yi Qinfeng controlled the two supreme treasures and continuously attacked the half-step Emperor Gu Yu, forcing her to retreat again and again. Blood dripped from the corner of her mouth. Gu Ying's assassination. Gu Yu, who was in a passive state, shouted. A black shadow appeared from her body and flashed in the void. It strangely approached Yi Qinfeng and launched a fatal attack at him. The heavenly Tao is merciless. Gu Yu's attack was extremely sudden, but Yi Qinfeng's soul spirit was extremely powerful and sharp. He instantly captured the trajectory of Gu Ying's assassination attack. For patterns of heavenly Tao flew out of his body and transformed into the power of heaven's might, directly destroying Gu Ying's assassination attack. The moment Gu Ying was killed, Gu Yu's body suddenly became blurry. She drew a light shadow in the air and approached Yi Qinfeng at a speed that was hard to see with the naked eye. Tao skill, Soul Shock Strike. A strange energy with an extremely fast frequency gushed out of Gu Yu's body. It ignored Yi Qinfeng's physical defenses and blasted into his soul spirit. Buzz! Yi Qinfeng felt his soul spirit tremble, and his mind went blank. His reaction speed slowed down. Die! Taking advantage of the moment when Yi Qinfeng's soul spirit slowed down, a mid-grade heaven artifact covered with thorns appeared in Gu Yu's hand. She thrust it at Yi Qinfeng's chest with extreme speed. She wanted to pierce through his heart meridian and cripple his cultivation. TSK. The black thorn that was filled with Tao intent and soul power stabbed into Yi Qinfeng's chest. However, Yi Qinfeng's physical body was comparable to a high-grade heaven artifact. Gu Yu's deliberate stab only injured his skin and was unable to penetrate his body. What? Feeling the rebound from the black thorn, Gu Yu's heart was in turmoil. She didn't expect Yi Qinfeng's physical body to be so strong. Her all-out attack was actually unable to pierce through his body. Groan! Feeling the pain from his chest, Yi Qinfeng instantly came back to his senses. The sword Dao pattern and thunder Dao pattern surged out of his body and merged with the burning power of the dragon blood to form a soaring sword. He ruthlessly slashed at Guyu, who had turned pale with fright. TSK. Guyu, who couldn't dodge in time, was sent flying by Yi Qinfeng's sword. Large amounts of blood flowed out from her body. Guyu was injured by Yi Qinfeng, and the Chaos Divine Beast, which was comparable to a half-step combat beast emperor, had the absolute advantage. Waves of tsunami-like roars constantly bombarded Yu Hong, causing his blood to churn as he was forced to retreat. Clan Headyu, the situation here is completely out of control. Why don't we retreat? The great, fortuitous opportunities in the ethereal immortal realm might be very tempting, but their lives were more important. After being injured by Yi Qinfeng, Guyu had the intention to retreat. She transmitted a message to Yu Hong, who was in a sorry state. All right, let's go. Surrounded by danger, Yu Hong, who couldn't hold on any longer, agreed. The two of them transmitted a message to Mo Fengyin, who was also in a precarious situation. Suddenly, they abandoned Yi Qinfeng and the Chaos Divine Beast and flew away with extreme speed. Once Guyu and Yu Hong escaped, the severely injured Mo Qianli also quickly escaped. Only Mo Fengyin and the sword puppet were left behind. Boss, they escaped. Should we give chase? Seeing Guyu and Yu Hong suddenly escape, the Chaos Divine Beast immediately asked Yi Qinfeng. The two of them are nothing to be afraid of. Our priority is to deal with Mo Fengyin. As long as we can kill him, the others won't be able to threaten us. Yi Qinfeng didn't chase after Guyu and the others. Instead, he quickly turned around and took the risk to approach Mo Fengyin, who was fighting fiercely with the sword puppet. He controlled the vermilion bird cauldron and the snake spear to attack Mo Fengyin. Mo Fengyin was already severely injured and his strength was limited. He was already suppressed by the sword puppet, now that he was being attacked by Yi Qinfeng and the Chaos Divine Beast. His situation suddenly became dangerous. He could be severely injured at any time. Brat, I will remember this enmity. In the future, I will definitely return it tenfold. Mo Fengyin, who was in grief and indignation, didn't dare to stay any longer. He left behind a ruthless sentence and wanted to force his way out. There's no need for the future. Leave your life here today. Yi Qinfeng appeared in front of Mo Fengyin in a flash. The vermilion bird cauldron and the snake shadow bombarded him one after another. The 9-flame dragon sword shadows enveloped the void, not giving him a chance to escape. You want to kill me? You're still far from it. Just as the two supreme treasures collided with Mo Fengyun's body, 10 shadows suddenly appeared from Mo Fengyun's body. They deceived the vermilion bird cauldron and the snake spear and rushed to the sky under the sword puppet's attack. They tore apart the low-grade Dao skill, Flame Dragon's destruction. In the next moment, Mo Fengyun's body exploded with a bloody light. Like a strange meteor, he streaked across the sky and escaped before Yi Qinfeng and the others could stop him. Mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 487. Fuck! I let that bastard get away. Seeing Mo Fengyin turn into a crimson shadow and disappear into the horizon, the divine beast of primal chaos panted heavily and roared in dissatisfaction. Emperors really aren't that easy to kill. Yi Qinfeng sucked in a deep breath and showed a trace of regret. If he couldn't kill Mo Fengyin in front of such a great opportunity, killing him in the future would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Come, Primal Chaos. This Class 7 Heavenly Beast core is for you. Space Swallower. This is the essence blood of the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle. Yi Qinfeng took out the precious Class 7 Heavenly Beast core and gave it to the Chaos Divine Beast. He then used the black flame Skyfire to melt the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle's corpse and gave the refined essence blood to the Space Swallower. Vermilion Bird Cauldron collect. Afterward, Yi Qinfeng took out the mysterious fragment of the Tao treasure and controlled the Vermilion Bird Cauldron to absorb it. He quickly refined and fused it. Let's go. Let's go deeper. I think we shouldn't be far from the core of the misty, immortal realm. After doing all this, Yi Qinfeng swallowed a heaven rank soul pill to recover the soul force he had expended. Boss, are you not going to care about Jianqin anymore? The Chaos Divine Beast swallowed the golden-crowned Heavenly Eagle's core and looked at the steel that had absorbed Jianqin. This steel is Jianqin's fortuitous encounter. I don't know how long he'll need to pass the steel's test, but with the power within the steel, it won't be easy for Mo Fengyin to break through it. Moreover, Mo Fengyin won't have the time to care about Jianqin. I think he'll immediately chase after us once he recovers. So Jianqin should be very safe. All right, let's go. With that, Yi Qinfeng stored the sword puppet and the space swallower into his cosmos ring. He had the Chaos Divine Beast stay in the Chaos Divine Tree and summon the Golden Pengwings. They flew into the depths of the mysterious space at an extremely fast speed. Why is the spatial wall becoming more and more fragile? Yi Qinfeng flew in this mysterious space for more than an hour. Suddenly, he felt that the walls of the space had become extremely fragile. The spirit qi had also become violent. Hurricanes swept through heaven and earth, as if this space could collapse at any time. Not good. There's danger. Just as Yi Qinfeng radiated the power of the God-Eater brain, he suddenly sensed danger. Without hesitation, he used the wind-riding spell and instantly increased his speed, dodging far away. The moment he dodged, a strange spatial crack appeared. It was like a huge devouring mouth, swallowing the violent spiritual qi in the air. As expected, this fragile space hides terrifying spatial cracks. Yi Qinfeng breathed a sigh of relief after narrowly dodging the spatial crack. He muttered to himself with lingering fear. After discovering the existence of the spatial rift, Yi Qinfeng became cautious. The power of the God-Eater brain radiated out completely, sensing the changes in the fragile space and guarding against the spatial rift. Yi Qinfeng cautiously flew for over 10 meters before another spatial crack appeared. However, with the help of the God-Eater brain, this strange spatial crack did not pose any threat to Yi Qinfeng. He easily dodged it. However, as he went deeper, Yi Qinfeng discovered that the entire space had become even more fragile. The frequency of spatial cracks appearing was constantly increasing. Often, after one spatial crack appeared, a second one would appear. This was a great threat to Yi Qinfeng. Just as Yi Qinfeng was flying dangerously with the help of the God-Eater brain, he suddenly discovered a white light not far in front of him. It illuminated the entire space as if it was daytime. That's a lotus flower. Through the glaring white light, Yi Qinfeng faintly discovered a basin-sized snow lotus flower that was slowly blooming. It was growing in the spatial crack and releasing endless white light. Primal Chaos, do you know what kind of lotus flower that is? Sensing how extraordinary the snow lotus flower was, Yi Qinfeng summoned the Primal Chaos Divine Beast and asked, "Heavenly lotus flowers. That's something that only appears in the heaven realm. It's nurtured by heavenly energy. I didn't think there would be one here. Legend is that a heavenly lotus flower grows a single petal every 1,000 years. As for that one in front, it probably has over 100 petals. It should be over 100,000 years old." The Primal Chaos Divine Beast's eyes widened as it stared at the snow lotus flower. It had recognized its origin. A heavenly lotus flower nurtured by heavenly energy. Could the reason why this spatial wall is so weak be related to this heavenly lotus flower? Muttered Yi Qinfeng. Yes, for a heavenly lotus flower to be nurtured, it needs to absorb a large amount of heavenly energy. As time passes, this spatial wall will naturally become weak. The primal chaos divine beast nodded. I have to obtain this heavenly lotus flower. Every time Yi Qinfeng broke through to the next level, he would need a huge amount of energy. The heavenly lotus in front of him could solve his urgent need. Once he broke through to the second level of Defiant Beast King realm, his strength would increase by several folds, and his ability to protect himself would be greatly increased. However, just as Yi Qinfeng was about to grab the heavenly lotus flower, Yi Qinfeng's sharp senses sensed a dangerous aura around it. He decisively stopped and dodged. The instant he dodged, over a dozen spatial cracks appeared, sealing the space around the heavenly lotus flower. If Yi Qinfeng had tried to get close to the heavenly lotus flower, he would have been devoured by those spatial cracks. His body would have been torn to shreds. Boss, this heavenly lotus flower has been growing for over 100,000 years. It should be one with this space. If you take the risk of getting close to it, it will naturally counterattack, said the primal chaos divine beast. The divine beast of chaos said, You can't get close to it, but your indestructible puppet should be able to. The space crack shouldn't be able to crush its body. Yes, I will let the sword puppet give it a try. Yi Qinfeng nodded. With a thought, he summoned the sword puppet. He handed the ruler weapon to it and ordered it to fly towards the heavenly lotus flower. The sword puppet approached the heavenly lotus flower with extreme speed. Once again, over a dozen spatial cracks appeared around the heavenly lotus flower and tried to devour the sword puppet. The sword spirit puppet was not affected in the slightest by the destructive power gushing out from the spatial rifts. Relying on its indestructible body, it forcibly passed through more than 10 spatial rifts and approached the heavenly lotus the size of a wash basin. Swish! Swish! Just as the sword spirit puppet was about to touch the heavenly lotus, a series of ear-piercing noises suddenly rang out. Numerous sharp black roots broke out of the fragile space wall and coiled around the sword spirit puppet at an extremely fast speed. Heaven crystal ignition. The instant the sword puppet was wrapped by the heavenly lotus flower's roots, the sword puppet burned a large amount of heaven crystal. A terrifying energy was emitted from its body and forcefully tore apart the black roots. Wrath of divine punishment. Yi Qinfeng also attacked from a distance. The black flames, heavenly fire, ancient extreme heavenly water, and ancient extreme heavenly thunder quickly fused together and formed the power of divine punishment. It forcefully passed through the strange spatial cracks and bombarded the heavenly lotus flower's roots. Although the heavenly lotus flower was nurtured by the power of heaven and had grown for 100,000 years, its attacking power wasn't strong. Under Yi Qinfeng's attacks from a distance and the sword puppet's burning of heaven crystal, its roots were constantly being shredded. After about 15 minutes, the heavenly lotus flower parasitized in the depths of the spatial zone. Tens of thousands of roots were all shredded, and the sword puppet successfully plucked it. Without the heavenly lotus flower's control, the fragile spatial wall stabilized slightly. With the help of the God-Eater brain, Yi Qinfeng repeatedly sensed the heavenly lotus flower but didn't sense any danger. He took the risk and crossed the spatial cracks that were hidden in the spatial cracks. He appeared beside the sword puppet and struck out several array patterns to seal the heavenly lotus flower. However, at this moment, an aura that made him feel suffocated suddenly locked onto him. Relying on his powerful foundation and strength, Mo Fengyan stabilized his injuries and rushed over with murderous intent. Mobile reading website. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this reading. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 488. Not good. Mo Fengyun has caught up. Sensing that Mo Fengyun's aura had locked onto him, Yi Qinfeng's expression changed drastically. He didn't expect Mo Fengyun to catch up so quickly. He quickly put the heavenly lotus into his universe ring and flew towards the end of this fragile space at an extremely fast speed. Where are you going? Although Mo Fengyun was shocked by the sword puppet's strength, Mo Fengyun would not allow the great opportunity in the ethereal immortal realm to go to waste. Therefore, no matter what price he had to pay, he had to kill Yi Qinfeng and the others. Kacha! Just as Mo Fengyun was about to forcefully pass through the spatial cracks, the fragile space trembled slightly. Spatial cracks that looked like devouring mouths appeared and sealed the space in front of him. Although Mo Fengyun was one step away from becoming a level 2 beast emperor, he did not have a body as strong as the sword spirit puppet, which could ignore the destructive power coming from the spatial crack. He had no choice but to stop and watch Yi Qinfeng fly faster and faster, further and further away. Soon, Yi Qinfeng disappeared from his sight. Boss, why are you running? It's extremely advantageous for us to fight him in this fragile space. With the help of the spatial cracks, that puppet of yours has a high chance of killing him. The primal chaos divine beast asked in confusion as Yi Qinfeng flew rapidly. The sword puppet does not have much energy left. Once the sword puppet's energy is exhausted, it will be devoured by the spatial cracks, and I will lose it. Yi Qinfeng sighed helplessly in his heart. So that's how it is. That old bastard got lucky, the chaos divine beast said angrily. After losing the heavenly lotus, the fragile space stabilized a lot. However, Yi Qinfeng still encountered many spatial cracks as he flew. With the help of the God-Eater brain, Yi Qinfeng narrowly avoided the spatial cracks and flew to the end of this fragile space. He found a dilapidated cave abode. An immortal cave. There's actually an immortal cave here. Perhaps the fall of the misty immortal realm from the heaven domain has something to do with this immortal cave. The primal chaos divine beast flew under the dilapidated immortal cave, blinking its round eyes as it asked, Handun, are you saying that this cave also came from the heaven domain? Yi Qinfeng's eyes blazed as he asked, if this cave abode came from the heaven domain, then it was very likely to be the biggest secret of the ethereal immortal realm. It hid an opportunity that made the experts of the Duhan continent jealous. Even the heavenly Tao inheritance that Shui Piaomiao mentioned might be in this cave abode. Yes, judging from the presence of this cave, it must be from the heaven region. I just don't know who it belongs to, the chaos sacred beast said with a nod. Space swallowing bug, devour restriction. Time was of the essence, as Mo Fengyun could catch up with them at any time. Yi Qinfeng did not control the God-Eater brain to break through the restrictive spell at the entrance of this dilapidated cave mansion. Instead, he summoned the space swallower that had swallowed the blood essence of the golden-crowned sky eagle and had rapidly grown to a level 6 heavenly beast. Ka. Following Yi Qinfeng's order, the space swallower immediately revealed its sharp teeth and started to chew on the restrictive spell at the entrance of the cave. However, because the restrictive spell at the entrance of this dilapidated cave mansion was passed down from the heaven region, it contained a terrifying amount of energy. The level 6 heavenly beast, the space swallower, found it extremely difficult to chew on the restrictive spell. After half an hour, it only managed to make a small dent. Just as the space swallower was doing its best to chew on the restrictive spell, Mo Fengyun relied on his powerful strength and sharp senses to successfully cross the fragile space and catch up with them. Sword puppet, chaos sacred beast, stop him with all your might. Don't let him disturb the space swallower. As Mo Fengyun caught up with them, Yi Qinfeng immediately summoned the sword puppet and ordered him and the chaos sacred beast to attack Mo Fengyun with all their might. Buzz! The sword puppet turned its body into a sword and turned into a sharp light sword. It cut through all obstacles and slashed at Mo Fengyan. As the sword slashed, Mo Fengyan could clearly see that the fragile space in front of him was directly split apart by the sword puppet, forming a winding space crack. Tao of Darkness Spear. Before the sword slash could get close to him, Mo Fengyan took out a supreme-grade heaven artifact, Black Long Spear. It was like a black dragon coming out of its cave, turning the sky upside down as it pierced forward. The moment the two attacks collided, the entire space shattered like glass. Waves of terrifying hurricanes were released from the shattered space, engulfing the two of them. Roar of chaos! Just as the space in front of them started to collapse, the Chaos Sacred Beast's crimson body swelled into a ball. A powerful sound wave was released from its mouth and blasted into the collapsed space. It swept toward Mo Fengyan, whose expression changed slightly and forced him to retreat. Space Swallower, hurry up with your devouring. Yi Qinfeng kept urging with his mind. The sword puppet did not have much energy left. Once the energy in its body was depleted, the situation would be reversed immediately, and Yi Qinfeng would be in a desperate situation. Crunch! Crunch! Hearing Yi Qinfeng's urging, the space swallower sped up its devouring speed and started to chew through the opening. Soon, the opening in the restriction at the cave dwelling's entrance became bigger and bigger, revealing a dark golden door made of special materials and engraved with two beast heads. Beast soul form! Mo Fengyan, who was fighting intensely with the sword puppet and the chaos sacred beast, saw the exposed cave dwelling's entrance through the chaotic space. He did not hesitate to transform into his strongest beast soul form, greatly increasing his strength. Tao Intent of Shadow, Speed Amplification. In the next moment, a large number of Tao patterns of shadow emerged from Mo Fengyan's body, increasing his speed. He wanted to forcefully break through the sword puppet and the chaos sacred beast's obstruction, kill Yi Qinfeng, and rush into the mysterious cave dwelling. Roar! Seeing Mo Fengyan's intention, the chaos sacred beast continued to release a powerful roar attack. However, this time it was not attacking Mo Fengyan, but the fragile space in front of Mo Fengyan. Crunch! Crunch! The fragile space, which was full of cracks, was hit by the powerful sound waves released by the chaos sacred beast and immediately collapsed. Endless destructive force seeped out and permeated the space, forcefully stopping Mo Fengyan from trying to break through. Slash! At this moment, the sword puppet also slashed with its sword. A sword light, which looked like the Milky Way, descended from the sky. It carried a shocking destructive force and slashed the collapsed space in front of Mo Fengyan, increasing the size of the collapse. Chaos Sacred Beast, Sword Puppet, come! While the fragile space was collapsing and blocking Mo Fengyan, Yi Qinfeng quickly summoned the Chaos Sacred Beast and the Sword Puppet. Hearing Yi Qinfeng's call, the sword puppet ignored the destructive force released by the collapsed space and forcefully passed through the collapsed space. Together with the Chaos Sacred Beast, it quickly flew to Yi Qinfeng's side. At this moment, the space swallower had already bitten open a huge opening in the cave dwelling's restriction. It was enough for Yi Qinfeng to enter, unleash the power of the 3 spiritual pearls for £1,000,000 of force. Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and channeled the surging power into his arms. He pressed heavily on the ferocious beast's head and relied on the powerful force to push open the dark, golden cave dwelling's door. When the door opened, a surge of majestic spirit chi and nomological force that far surpassed the fighting soul continent gushed out and bombarded Yi Qinfeng's body, causing his body to tremble. Feeling that the nomological force in the cave dwelling was different from the outside world, Yi Qinfeng did not hesitate. He kept the sword puppet, the chaos sacred beast, and the space swallower into his body. In a flash, he broke into this mysterious and unknown cave dwelling that seemed to belong to an important figure in the heaven domain. Mobile reading website. Book address To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 489. Boom! Boom! The moment Yi Qinfeng entered the dilapidated cave abode, the slowly closing dark golden door was immediately hit hard. And Mo Fengyin, who had taken the risk of passing through the collapsed space, attacked the door with all his might before the restrictions on the door closed. He wanted to force his way in. Sword puppet, block the door! The moment the dark golden door was forced open by Mo Fengyin, Yi Qinfeng summoned the sword puppet and blocked the violently shaking dark golden door with him. They forcibly closed it, not giving Mo Fengyin a chance to force his way in. Mo Fengyin was completely enraged by his failure to break into the cave abode. He quickly burned his spiritual beast bloodline to increase his strength as much as possible. He held his black spear and attacked the tightly closed door. However, Yi Qinfeng and the sword puppet were too strong. No matter how Mo Fengyin attacked, he could not force the door open. Gradually, the restrictions swallowed by the space swallower bugs healed and completely blocked Mo Fengyin's attacks, leaving him outside. Phew, we should be safe for now. Mo Fengyin's fierce attacks suddenly stopped. Yi Qinfeng guessed that the restrictions swallowed by the space swallower bugs should have healed. He heaved a sigh of relief. Sword puppet, I am preparing to break through to the second-rank Beast King realm here. Remember not to let Mo Fengyin in while I am breaking through. The dilapidated cave abode was full of mysteries and unknown dangers. In order to increase his life-saving means, Yi Qinfeng was preparing to refine the heavenly lotus here and break through to the second-rank Beast King realm. Chaos! Do you know what the taboos are when refining the heavenly lotus? Yi Qinfeng took out the heavenly lotus that had dozens of array patterns sealed on it and asked, The heavenly lotus is nurtured by the power of heaven and has no impurities. Therefore, there is no need to refine it when swallowing it. Just eat it directly. However, the most important part of the heavenly lotus is not its pure white petals, but its core. Therefore, I suggest that you refine the core of the heavenly lotus first before refining the petals. This way, the heavenly lotus's spirituality will be the least lost. The chaos divine beast said. Okay, I understand. Yi Qinfeng nodded and consumed a heaven-level soul elixir to recover his consumed soul power and condition. Boss, I'm going to cultivate too. With that, the Chaos Divine Beast entered the Chaos Divine Wood and continued to refine the Golden Crown, Heavenly Eagle's demonic core. After about half an incense stick's worth of time, Yi Qinfeng adjusted himself to his best condition. He plucked the crystal-like core of the flower, which contained extremely pure energy, and swallowed it. Suddenly, he felt a surge of boundless energy being released from his mouth. It flowed down his throat like a flood breaking through a dam and surged into his body, instantly opening up all the meridians in his body. If it wasn't for the fact that Yi Qinfeng's meridians had been tempered thousands of times and had reached a terrifying level of toughness, the energy released by the heart of the heavenly lotus would have been enough to tear apart all the meridians in his body, turning him into a cripple. Soul-devouring art, refine. Yi Qinfeng relied on his extraordinary willpower and unyielding belief to endure the inhumane pain in his body. He circulated the soul-devouring art at high speed to refine the energy and raise his strength. Just as he was trying to break through to the second-rank Defiant Beast King realm, Mo Fengyin, who was blocked outside the cave dwelling, went crazy. He held a peak-grade heaven artifact spear and crazily attacked the restriction outside the cave dwelling. He wanted to forcibly tear open the restriction and enter. Although his attack power was terrifying, the restriction outside the cave dwelling was inherited from the heaven domain. Under his ferocious attacks, there were only some distortions, but there were no signs of breaking. Mo Fengyan had no choice but to give up on the idea of forcibly tearing open the restriction and think of other methods. As Mo Fengyan circled around the several miles wide cave dwelling that looked like a meteor and contained a mustard seed space, he unexpectedly discovered a weak spell at the bottom of the cave dwelling. Hidden within the spell was a slender gap. "The heavens are helping me. The heavens are really helping me." After discovering the cave dwelling's weak point, Mo Fengyan was overjoyed. He didn't hesitate to transform into his strongest battle form. He took out 2 destructive talismans and attacked with all his strength. Under the self-detonation of the 2 destruction talismans and his relentless attacks, the weak restriction outside the cave dwelling broke. Mo Fengyan's body flashed, and he charged into the cave dwelling's interspatial space. Yi Qinfeng, who was trying to break through to the 2nd rank Defiant Beast King realm, was unaware of this. He was still immersed in refining the Heavenly Lotus. Phew, the Heavenly Lotus is truly worthy of being a Heaven Domain spirit item. The energy it contains is truly terrifying. The energy Yi Qinfeng required to break through to the 2nd rank Defiant Beast King realm was comparable to a 5th rank Defiant Beast King trying to break through to the 6th rank. However, he endured the inhumane pain and refined the core of the Heavenly Lotus. His soul energy soared to a terrifying degree, almost reaching the limit of a 1st rank Defiant Beast King. With the breakthrough imminent, he didn't waste any time. He quickly plucked the pure white petals that contained pure energy and swallowed them. He circulated the soul-devouring art and continued to refine them. After losing the core of the Heavenly Lotus, the spirit energy within the petals was quickly drained. However, this 100,000-year-old Heavenly Lotus still had over 100 petals. As large amounts of petals turned into spirit energy and flowed into Yi Qinfeng's body, his soul energy continued to soar. The 2-headed Blood Dragon King's power grew stronger and stronger. Time ticked by. When Yi Qinfeng had absorbed all the petals of the Heavenly Lotus into his body, the soul power in his body had finally reached saturation. His cultivation foundation had also become unbreakable. 2nd rank Defiant Beast King breakthrough. Sensing that his soul energy and the 2-headed Blood Dragon King had both reached their limits, Yi Qinfeng didn't suppress his cultivation anymore. He broke through the bottleneck in one go and became a 2nd rank Defiant Beast King. His physical strength increased by 500 kilograms, and his lifespan doubled to 3,600 years. Breakthrough! I have finally become a 2nd rank Defiant Beast King. Sensing that his body was filled with boundless soul energy and power, Yi Qinfeng felt that his strength had increased by 5 to 6 times. He revealed a satisfied smile. Roar! Just as he was silently sensing the increase in his strength, he suddenly felt a terrifying aura leaking out from his heart. Primal chaos has broken through. Through the primal chaos divine wood, Yi Qinfeng felt the strength of the primal chaos divine beast. After refining the golden-crowned heavenly eagle's demonic core, the primal chaos divine beast's strength had also recovered. It had reached the level of a level 7 heavenly beast and was comparable to a combat beast emperor expert. Haha, I have finally recovered to the level of a level 7 heavenly beast. Boss, we don't have to be afraid of that Mo Fengyan now. We can rest assured and fight for the great opportunities in this cave. The primal chaos divine beast's excited voice rang in Yi Qinfeng's mind. And let's go. Yi Qinfeng didn't delay any longer. He kept the sword puppet back into his body and summoned the golden rock wings. He flew towards the depths of the mysterious cave to search for the great opportunities that might exist here. Red envelopes on Monday, over 300 red envelopes this week. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends. QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.